Touchdown!
ABC Sports Championship Television.
It is not a potlatch, nor is it a shivaree. It is a party in the Palouse. It's a celebration of something good that's happened for the first time. The Washington State Cougars are ranked 5th in all the National College Football Polls, including the almighty one, the BCS, their highest ranking ever. You want to dance, baby, do it. Don't worry about what others think. Have a hoot. It's your turn. It may be that Walter Mitty, at least for the moment, is a Cougar. Known for their offense, which has set a lot of high numbers, they've been doing well with that old-fashioned thing called defense. The big uglies in the trenches, Long and Williams, Brown and Shavies, and all their brothers are in the mud and the blood having a time, and they've certainly had a hand in this march to this new level. And this new level for the Washington State Cougars places them the only undefeated team in the Pac-10 in November. That is a rare sort of a thing. They have victories over USC and Arizona State, and today will try to beat Oregon, and I emphasize the word try because they haven't done very well doing that lately. You can see there is some partisanship existing in the broadcast booth today. I'll guarantee you. Now, Dan Fouts, do you know what kind of flower that is?
Well, it looks like a rose.
It is, yes. Do you have one on yours?
No, but we had a Fiesta Bowl one last year.
Oh, I see. That's his real jersey, his real number when he was on his way to becoming a Hall of Fame quarterback. And speaking of quarterbacks today, let's have a look at Washington State as they come onto the field and through the tunnel, and a sold-out crowd comes to its feet here, excepting those, of course, wearing the green and the gold. Some of them perhaps grudgingly standing just to rearrange their seats.
Keith, the revenge has got to be on the mind of this Cougar football team. Jason Gesser has never beaten the Ducks, nor has anybody on this football team. And, you know, it's going to be up to the big guys in the trenches to get the job done. And that will be they'll be led by Ryan Long. He and his friends have successfully shut down the run, allowing less than 70 yards per game rushing in 5 conference games. But their real strength is in getting after the quarterback. The Cougs are second in the Pac-10 with 40 sacks, and they brought down ASU quarterbacks 8 times just a week ago. Now, the basis for revenge is the Pac-10's leading rusher, Oregon's Ontario Smith. He set a school record in last year's game when he rushed for 285 yards. His knee is rested, his knee is healthy. The O-man will make you miss, or he'll make you pay on his way to the Ontario Speedway.
And what has become a very common subject, tall receivers against the short Oregon secondary.
And you know Jason Gesser will be having his target set on his tall receivers. The only thing that may give him problems today, it's extremely windy down on the field. He likes to throw the soft lob up to those tall guys.
Well, that'll do. Go Cougars.
Go Ducks.
Go Cougars.
Go Ducks.
You got 2 left.
Go to you.
We'll be right back.
Who's out? Go. 1, 2, 3. Go, Duck, Ducks. One big time win. I'll meet you in here when it's all over. Let's go.
It's house in the music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose it. House in the music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better.
No one on this football team that plays has beaten Oregon, and they were the first ones to remind me of that on Monday.
And I don't know whether that means revenge or not, Dan, but there's been talk about it all the week long, and the Cougars have their neck bowed, but there's still the element of speed, and that probably favors Oregon. Right now, we go to the field in Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Keith. Coach, you've come in here last 2 years as the defending Pac-10 champions. Have you guys adjusted to being the underdog this year?
I think so. We sort of like that mentality. Come up and be the hunted, not the hunted. And again, it's a great crowd. A game is important. That's what you want to play in November.
I know the entire state of Oregon wants to know how number 2 is doing. How's Ontario's knee with a week's rest?
Number 2's awesome. He's healthy, ready to go, fired up.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Keith and Dan, the temperature down here has been plummeting the last half an hour. Temperature now around 40 degrees, and as Dan pointed out, it is very windy. favors the running game. Keith?
Yeah, it runs about out of the southwest at 22 to 28 miles an hour, and showers probably will occur before the ball game is over. Adam Holliday will kick it off for Washington State. The deep people are Alan Amundsen and Terrence Whitehead, both running backs for the University of Oregon Ducks. So the Cougars are going with the wind in the first quarter, and that kick will go way back there, almost into the stand. The referee today is Chuck McFerrin. No flags on the kickoff, so we get through the first moment okay. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, and the Oregon Ducks, a football team that is blessed with a steady fellow at quarterback in the wake of Joey Harrington. He's 7th in Division 1A in passing efficiency, only 5 picks and 260 attempts, and he plays better, it seems, in the second half than he does in the first. So it's been a good season so far for Jason Fife. And here comes the first snap of the ball game, with Ontario Smith lined up at the deep back position. He's the fellow who went for 285 yards last year. This time he hammers over the right side, and he starts out with 6 yards on his first carry in the arms of Jeremy Williams. The Divvy for men starting lineups for Oregon. Backs and receivers are, as we told you, Ontario Smith coming off a strained knee. All the receivers can break loose anywhere. Parker raw speed. Howery makes you hold your breath on kick returns. The big people up front have been giving Smith and now Whitehead openings to daylight, and Fife time to shop his receivers. It is Whitehead in the backfield right now. Fife comes out throwing, throws quickly, completed out to about the 31-yard line for a first down to Sammy Parker. So it looks like Oregon may go short coming out of the blocks here. The defensive front for Washington State, this might be the best one in the conference right now. USC has a good one when Sean Cody is there, but he's out for the moment. The linebackers, freshman Will Durding played very well last week. So did Pat Bennett. Al Ginatone, who was a starter at the beginning of the season, may come back today. And that is your defensive secondary today, led by Marcus Trufant. And they will be tested by the speed and ability of Parker and Howery. They give it back to Smith, and this time he's caught rather quickly after only a 2-yard pickup. And when you stop Ontario Smith or Whitehead or anybody from Oregon, it seems for Washington State, 2 yards is a victory.
Yeah, and Ontario Smith, they claim that he's 100%. He sat out last week's game against Stanford. That did not hurt the Ducks, as Terrence Whitehead came in and did a great job. But Ontario Smith, he is the man. He feels very comfortable here at Martin Stadium. And the Cougar defensive line, they know that they have to pay special attention to bring in number 2 down.
They're double wide. Bottom of your picture, they send the tight end up into a slot position. And Fife back, quick drop, quick throw. Ball is completed to Keenan Howery. Howery's going to have another Oregon first down. So Oregon looking for space in the short game at the beginning of the game, and they're finding it, and they're moving the chain.
Keith, it's smart play calling by Andy Ludwig, their offensive coordinator. As you mentioned, the wind is in the directly in the face of Jason Fife. So they're going with a 3-step drop on their first 2 pass plays, the quick out, and then that time hitting the slot man, Howery, for a first down.
Now they're moving 2 men at the same time. Any element of confusion you can plant, you'll take. Fife back, now pressure coming. He's got to run a little bit, throws the ball, and a good catch. I mean, a really good catch by the fullback, Matt Floberg, and he makes something out of what seemed to be nothing. And you've got an Oregon man down on the field.
Keith, that's Ontario Smith who's down. Terrible sign for Duck fans. Number 2 is down on his face. Was in the game on a play-action pass there. And he was hurt protecting quarterback Jason Fife. Here he is in the I formation. Let's check him out. Little misdirection for Oregon. He's got to pick up Mawuli Davis, and he looks like he might have just banged the back of his neck. Great catch by Floberg, just his 7th of the year. But watch after the catch, which is outstanding. So is the strength to pull away from Pat Bennett and pick up 2 yards. But of more concern, obviously, is number 2, Ontario Smith.
He's got up on his knees rather quickly, and now he seems may have just been a case of taking a blow.
Yeah, it looked like his head was in an awkward position as he blocked Mawuli Davis, who was coming on the blitz. Nothing wrong with his leg. Left knee is what was bothering him last week.
They'll let him sit for a bit and make sure he's all right before he gets back in the ball game. It is now 2nd down and 7 with Terrence Whitehead. He's number 24, the deep back for the Ducks. He gets the ball coming up into the middle of the traffic, and he's a pretty good size freshman, 202 pounds, out of Los Angeles, and he picks up about 2 yards on the play.
Last week against Stanford, Coach Mike Bellotti opened up the fun page of the Oregon playbook. A reverse to Keenan Howery that went for 28 yards. And then a rare touchdown pass to backup tight end Tim Day, only his 2nd catch of the year. And then how about an option play to the regular tight end George Reister, all in the first quarter as the Ducks dominated the Cardinals.
3rd down and 4 with Howery and Parker both coming out of the game, and they put the big people in there. Keith Allen is one of the big people. So you got a double tight end set. Now they send Allen in motion, and Fife swings it out here, throws it into the ground. It is covered, but that wasn't necessary because that was a forward pass, and it was incomplete.
And it was immediate pressure by Didi Achelonu that forced that bad pass by Jason Fife. Watch number 17 coming here around the corner. It's just the worst pass of the day on a 3rd down situation for Fife.
And here's your punt now from Jose Arroyo. Gets it into the wind. It gets a good kick taken at the 5-yard line. That's a mistake. It was fielded by Marcus Trufant, but then he breaks out of the tackle. It looked like he would go down, and then they just shook him off like a bad cold and run it out to about the 18-yard line. Sandy Parker couldn't hold him. We've got a timeout. Cougar first possession coming up.
When the world's greatest detective moves to Mondays, it's definitely something to sing about.
Monday.
Mr. Nelson, we have a warrant for your arrest. Monk Day begins ABC Monday following football.
The Cougar quarterback Jason Gesser already owns a truckload of school passing records. The first player ever named team captain 3 times. That's the first time that's happened in 108 years of football, so it seemed to me that says something about his leadership abilities and qualities. So he's going to pull the trigger on the first play offensively for Washington State with Jermaine Green. Single back for them and 3 wideouts. And he's got the wind at his back. Gets a good block, gets the pass away. He was hit as he threw it. The receiver coming back to it and dropped the ball. Sammy Moore was coming back to the football and there was nobody around him and he dropped it. Seth McEwen was the man that had the pressure on Gesser and probably was the man that hit him. Somebody did, look like, and he didn't get all the ball underway as he intended with the wind at his back.
Defensive end Darrell Wright, number 40, is going to be right in the face of Gesser right there. He goes down, and he came up limping after the play, and there's the hit by Moretti. You can see how far down the field Sammy Moore was open, couldn't come back and make the catch.
So that's a lost opportunity. They go to Jermaine Green. He's coming around the right side and bangs his way out to about the 25-yard line, and you've got a penalty flag coming after the play is complete, and I think you're going to get a late hit.
Yeah, the late hit will be on David Martin, who's starting for Garrett Graham at linebacker. A little overzealous. Costly mistake
so that's
early in the game.
15 yards against Oregon.
Green has a nice gain on the perimeter here. Watch 21 right there come in and deliver a late shot right in front of the guy with the L on his shirt. Can't do that.
Green goes out of the ball game right now after that play on the sidelines. And the Cougars come quickly into the offensive huddle at the 35 as the ball is marked just over the 40-yard line, 1st down. Gesser now all by himself in the backfield with 4 wideouts, actually 5. One of them flexed inside. Gesser looking around, shopping now, starts to move, gets the pass away, has a man, he drops it. That's Marty Martin, so he's hit Sammy Moore and Marty Martin right on the hands, and neither one has been able to hold on to the football.
Well, remember, Lundy and Henderson are out with injuries, so Sammy Moore is back, and this is Marty Martin, number 6. And both Moore and Martin have dropped very catchable passes on this opening drive. Both teams appear to be a little tight. The missed tackle by Sammy Parker on the Trufant punt return, and then the penalty on David Martin, and then the 2 drops.
Cougars moved on the left side of the line, so that's a false start charge against Washington State.
Rookie Troy Bieneman not only jumped, but then he got punished by Rod Wright.
Lineups, backs and receivers for Washington State. Wide receiver Joe Riley. They need him right now because the first two have dropped the ball, but he's playing as well as anybody right now. Pac-10 Player of the Week, and you would think that 6'6" Mike Bush would have an opportunity or two before this day is over. The offensive line reflected there, and they played very well, led by Derek Roach. Gesser turns and gives, and it goes to Jermaine Green back in the ball game, and the Ducks handle him pretty quickly at the 39-yard line. The Oregon defense along the front improving every week with freshman Haloti Nata and sophomore Igor Oshansky on the inside. And these defensive ends for Oregon need to keep Jason Gesser from running around too much. The linebackers, good ones, all of them can really run. They may not be in the category of very fast, but they are quick. And the secondary has been under pressure all season long. Here's Gesser throwing to the sideline. This ball goes high in the air, and DeVard Darling stays with it and makes the catch just over the 45-yard line. So that means he's well short of the first down, and it'll bring up fourth and punt.
Spectacular catch by Darling on the outside. Remember, he's 6'3", and he has to use every inch of 6'3" to make this grab. Fine reaction as well by Aaron Gibson.
20-mile-an-hour wind sometimes will make your ball float around, too, won't it?
Especially if you don't throw a tight spiral.
Yep.
If you get any wobble at all, it's gone.
All right, in to punt is Kyle Bossler. Keenan Howry is waiting for it. Wynn grabs this one and takes it into the end zone and out of the field of play, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line where Oregon will start for their second possession. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention. Marriott. Wherever business takes you, your Marriott awaits. The new Nokia 7210 with color screen Nokia connecting people. And Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. Ontario Smith back on the field now at tailback for Oregon, having been stunned in that first series. Fife steps up, has time, goes deep, and throws it way beyond the range of anybody. Keenan Howry was running under it, but the ball was 10 feet over his head, and let's join Todd Harris on the windy field.
All right, Keith, Oregon can breathe a sigh of relief. The injury that took place in the last series to Ontario Smith, it was a head-to-helmet contact, and what that did is it pushed the helmet down into his eye socket. So what he has is a left bruised eye socket. I don't know if that's ever happened in a football game before, but now he's sporting a Shiner, a.k.a. Rock Balboa, but he's going to be good to go.
It is, get a Shiner of it. Dangerous, too, I would think. Second down and 10. Hand the ball to Smith. Grabbed by the shoulder pad right about the 20-yard line. Taken down. Will Girding, number 51, got a piece of him as he went by and brought him down.
And so did big Ryan Long, number 60 or 88, 6'6". Ryan Long with one hand is going to reach out and grab that shoulder pad right there, and down he goes as Girding takes his legs. That's what the Cougs have to do. More than one man has to be in on the tackle on Ontario Smith all day long.
Give him a yard, second down and 9. Fife under center. They've got the noisemakers here at Martin Stadium today, trying to give Oregon a little bit of what you get when you go down there. And here's a sack on the quarterback, Jason Fife. And I'm looking to see who gets it. Jeremy Williams and Ryan Long are both there. That's a half a Long. That's a story we'll tell you about in a little bit, because he's looking for something in the teens in sacks.
The key is the pressure from the outside. That forces Fife to have to step into the middle, and then who's in the middle but the two big guys, Long and Williams. This is a perfect front four for the Cougs.
Here's the penalty flag, and Chuck McFerrin, the referee. False start called against Oregon. The rest of the officials today, the umpire is Art Hines, Cleo Robinson, the head linesman, the line judge Blake Lozo, the field judge is Craig Rolstad, the side judge is Brian O'Kane, and the back judge is Steve Hudson. Arroyo now standing in the end zone. He'll hit it at about the 3-yard line. Cougars all come up. They're trying to get a rush on it. They can't get to it, and it's a pretty good kick that hangs up in the wind. Ball hits a Cougar, and the Ducks dive on it, and they may have it.
But there may be a halo violation, Keith.
Could be.
As that ball started coming down, the wind was pulling it back towards the Oregon side of the field. That's why Trufant could not make the catch, but he also may have been interfered with.
Well, the Cougars are pointing at Oregon as the penalties against them. Let McFerrin tell us. Chuck's the man in the white hat. It's obvious that the microphone's not working here in the first quarter. That's bad news. We'll be in semaphores by the time we get to the end of the game. We've got 8:50 to go in a scoreless first quarter between Washington State and visiting Oregon. First down, Washington State after the penalty. And they go to the run as Jermaine Green carries up the middle, and he'll move it from the 32-yard line down near to the 28. That's about 4 yards.
One thing Jason Gesser and the Cougs need to do today is play a little bit of this basketball here on this field turf. Get the ball to those tall wide receivers. We've already seen how they've been able to force Jason Fife into a long situation, taking the sack there. And remember the pass, just don't repeat it.
Mike Bush, big number 5'6", comes out bottom of the picture, and Jason's looking at him and throws it to him, and Bush, the basketball player, who's very strong, is going to be short of the first down. He never was able to get his foot planted and get any momentum, and Steve Moore tied him up and brought him down at about the 22-yard line.
And you can already see the Oregon plan defensively as far as playing these tall wide receivers. Look at all the depth. Look at all the room they're giving the Cougar wide receivers, letting them catch the short pass and then coming up and making sure there's no extra yardage.
Just short of the 22 and just short of the first down. It's third down and about a half a yard. Oregon getting Valenzuela in there and sort of a goal line defense with Jermaine Green carrying the ball, trying to sweep left in, gets around the corner and goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. He got a terrific block from John Tippins, who had come in to join him in the backfield. Tippins, a big guy, and John got a solid block to get him around the corner. And first and goal, Washington State at the Oregon 8.
Jermaine Green possesses a lot of speed, and that's where they want to attack the Ducks, is on the perimeter. Tippins out in front, takes out Tucker right there with a great block, and then Moretti has to come all the way from middle linebacker to keep Green out of the end zone.
Tippins is in the backfield now with Gesser, and he's got 4 wide receivers. Here comes pressure, moves away from it, throws into the end zone. The man is wide open. Javard Darling, touchdown Cougars. So Mike Price able to see his Cougars go on top of Mike Bellatti's Oregon Ducks here in the first quarter.
Keith, I think this ball is deflected there just barely by Wright, and there you wide open receiver, DeVard Darling, for his 9th touchdown catch.
The try for point is good by Drew Dunning. And at 7:23 to play in the first quarter, Washington State to the lead, 7-0.
And Darling circles around wide open in the end zone for the touchdown, but Gibson cannot afford to be looking back at the quarterback and take his eyes off of number 1.
And they cannot afford collectively to let Jason Gesser have that much time to wander around and shop for a receiver.
That offensive line has only allowed 15 sacks of number 17 this season.
Adam Holliday, who didn't play last week against Arizona State, kicked the first one beyond the field of play. And Jason Gesser's on the phone. Curtis Nettles is back there waiting, holding the ball, and comes out of it, keeping all of his fingers. The ball is very high, taken at the 2-yard line by Alan Amundsen. He gets through the first wave, and he's all the way out to the 33, 34-yard line. My goodness, he was a step from going home. Jeremy Bohannon finally brought him down. Coming up in the second half of our doubleheader today, the Southern California Trojans, now ranked number 9 in the BCS. They'll be taking on the Stanford Cardinal in the Cardinals' homecoming. That'll be here on ABC Sports, the classic college football right after this game in the Palouse. All right, here come the Oregon Ducks. They trail 7-0 with 7:12 to play in the first quarter. Ontario Smith, the deep back. He gets the ball coming to the outside, and there's a lot of red shirts waiting for him. Number 45, Marcus Trufant, the first man to get him, coming from his corner position. He is going to get something out of it. You very seldom stop Smith short of the line of scrimmage. I think, like 14, 15 times the whole season have people been able to do it. He got 3 yards there.
And Keith, the one thing the Cougars will do today is play a lot more zone pass defense, and that will allow Trufant and the other corner, Carl Pema, to come up and force Ontario Smith back to the inside.
2nd down and 7 for the Ducks. Life giving it away, and they go to the other side, and they move it up 1 yard short of the first down as Smith carries. Smith weighs 204 pounds. He's got the quickest feet I think I've ever seen on a running back, and he's got enough size to whack you pretty hard.
And another thing that the Cougs may do is use a 5-man line. Now Oregon, obviously they got to give the ball to the O-man, Ontario Smith, but George Reitzer may come up big in this pass offense today for the Ducks if they try to double the outside receivers. And then on defense, they've got to change their scheme of pass rush and pass defense.
They've got 5 in there right now, Dan. They've got Ancelano in there to go with a regular 4, but it still doesn't stop the first down play as the Ducks will move it to the 46-yard line. Now let's sweep across the country and spend a moment with John Saunders.
Keith, Oklahoma unbeaten and trying to keep it there. A&M, they've lost some close ones this year. Nate Hibble goes 6 yards to Quentin Griffin, gets the touchdown, so Oklahoma on the board first at 7-0 past the midway point of quarter number 1. Keith.
From the 46-yard line, Oregon ball now, first down.
And again, 5 defensive linemen for the Cougs.
They're chiseling it out in short chunks. Give the ball away to Smith. He's hit once, he's hit twice. He still gets something out of it as he goes to the 49. So once again, 3 yards.
Well, they're not wrapping him up. The one thing that Bill Doba and Rob Akey told me about tackling Ontario Smith, you got to keep leverage. You got to get more than one hat on him. You got to keep your feet moving, keep your eyes open, and grab for cloth. These Oregon jerseys don't have a lot of cloth to grab. They're skin tight. I just got out of mine because it was killing me.
Smith has carried on all 4 plays in this possession. He's now carried 7 times and picked up 24 yards. Fife back to throw. Throws short. And the play's good to midfield and maybe the 49 to Floberg out of the backfield. Bill Doba, the defensive coordinator, had this comment about the use of the 5-man line.
We just try to get our best 11 on the field for the situation. And if they run the football, it gives us an extra, and it gives us an extra lineman. And then the line, our defensive line is our strength. We've got darn good line. We're blessed.
And they go back to 4 now. Look at this. There's 5 of them. It's a 4-5-2 there, and that adds up to 12, doesn't it? Jason Willis makes the catch, and he's brought down just short of the line of scrimmage. They take him out at the 45-yard line. They needed to go to the 44.
Marcus Trufant is so good at reading the quarterback's drop and anticipating the route. Watch as he keeps one eye on the receiver and breaks quickly to keep Willis from picking up the first down.
Pretty good. He's back now to watch for the punt from Jose Arroyo. Last time Jose got it up in the wind backed it up, and it caused some problems, and he's got it very high. Obviously he wanted it very high. Trufant coming up on a fair catch call. And Jason Willis is down there to grab a hold of him, but it's after the play, and all he did was hug him.
I can't believe they didn't throw a flag, though. That was a very aggressive little hug, wasn't it? And wasn't he in the halo when Trufant made the fair catch signal?
I don't think so. I think that's why he was allowed to get a free hug.
Oh, that's close. That is a very, very strong bear right there. The Ducks got away with one there.
Marcus said, "Turn me loose. Let me go." Ball's on the 17 now, and the Cougars have it first down with the wind at their back. 4 minutes and 27 seconds to play. They lead 7-0, and throwing. Gesser going to get hit. Ball comes out. Oregon's got it. Stephen Moore, touchdown. Oregon Ducks. Penalty flag back here behind the line of scrimmage. So hold it. Hold on.
Stephen Moore came on the corner blitz, Keith, wrapped up Gesser, ripped the ball loose, and pranced into the end zone. Now the flag thrown by the umpire. It'll be interesting to see if this is against Washington State for holding. Watch the play here by Moore. Gesser never saw him.
It's against Oregon. Now the question is, did it come after the fact or what?
May have been a dead ball foul, though, Pete.
Might have been dead ball. Right.
A lot of discussion. Here we go.
The touchdown is good. Dead ball. Personal foul.
Yep. Touchdown is good. Dead ball foul, and it's against Oregon. So they're penalized on the kickoff here. But it's still touchdown, and the Oregon Ducks have a chance to tie it.
But Keith, this penalty will push
the extra point drive.
Extra point way back. But if anybody can make this one, it's Jarrett Siegel.
Well, he's got 15 consecutive field goals and 51 consecutive conversions.
But Keith, he has never kicked into such a strong wind as he's facing right now.
Got a good rhythm, though. He really looks good. We'll see. It's 35 yards.
And his only miss this year was a 35-yard extra point.
High snap. Ball's away. And it's good. Not by a whole lot, but it's good. And so we've got a tie ball game on sort of a weird play as they stripped the ball from Jason Gesser, and Stephen Moore scored Oregon's first touchdown. Well, the band is tootling away, but their team was just tied by the opportunistic play of the Oregon defense. And Oregon now will kick off into the wind. You've got 4:20 to play in the first half. Going into the wind versus going with the wind. There are some people who say going into the wind makes you play a little different game. You play a shorter game and more controlled game. Oregon's been able to do that fairly well. The Cougars have not really exercised opportunity with the wind. They had 2 drops early on in the initial possession that could have been big plays for them, but they were drops. It's Sammy Moore and Jonathan Smith waiting for the kickoff from Siegel. Ball's taken 2 yards deep in the end zone by Sammy Moore. He's running sideways, and the Ducks won't let you do that. He comes out to the 15-yard line, and Oregon tracks him down. So don't know if that was a good decision. Monday night, look for the yellow blazer. In it, you'll find Al Mackles and John Madden. I'm not sure that they've got one in the closet big enough for John. That's Monday night's historic 500th telecast. And they've got the NFL's most intense rivalry, perhaps, as you have the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos going at it. Dan Fouts on Monday Night Football. His record with the San Diego Chargers was 8-6. His record on the second time around.
It couldn't have been that good. I'd still be there. 38-0 is pretty good.
Ball thrown to Mike Bush. He's brought down by Stephen Moore, and we've got another penalty flag on the field.
Pass interference on the offense.
Offensive pass interference called against Washington State. So.
Keith, this is that bubble screen, and if the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it's legal to block. That ball was thrown just across the line of scrimmage. The officials saw the block and called it for once.
You don't like that rule, do you?
I don't think you should be able to block downfield when the ball is in the air. Our Pontiac Performance Drive summary, you can see the big one right here, the 7 yards, not only a -7, but 7 points for the Oregon Ducks.
So here are the Cougars now backed up to their own 7-yard line and getting themselves in trouble. They try to run it out with Jonathan Smith, and they can't do it. It was first down and 17. Now it'll be second down and still long.
You know, Keith, you go back to 2 kicks. The extra point by Siegel, which made it a tie game, and then his kickoff angled about 3 yards deep in the end zone, allowed Oregon to pin the Cougars back deep in their own end here. Now a penalty, and you can see the importance of Jared Siegel.
It'll be 2nd down and 15. Gesser looking around, now throws it, and it is completed out to the original line of scrimmage, and here's a penalty flag. And I think this one goes against the Ducks. Linesman threw it from this side.
David Moretti was climbing all over the back of Jonathan Smith.
Gesser looking around, he couldn't find anybody deeper than 10 yards to throw the ball to. So that's a pretty good job of coverage by the Oregon secondary. So that gets the Cougars off the hook.
Yep, not pass interference, but holding against David Moretti. Right here on the crossing route, watch Moretti's left hand go out, grabs the jersey just enough to get the call.
The difference is the pass interference is a 15-yard penalty. This one's a 10-yard penalty, but both of them result in a first down. Ball is on the 20-yard line now. And Jermaine Green's the running back, has the ball, cuts back into traffic, and goes down quickly. Devin Long, younger brother of Ryan Long of Washington State, playing at a defensive end position for the Oregon Ducks. Devin is a redshirt freshman down at Oregon, while his older brother is a senior at Washington State.
Said he did not want to come and play in the sizable shadow of pick number 88.
Yeah, Ryan's a junior, so he's got another year to go. And making quite a reputation for himself this season. It's 2nd down. They're calling it 7, but it's an economy size 7. It's Green going the left side. Gets a block over there. He got a block from number 20. They got him around the corner, Sammy Moore, and he's got a first down. Kevin Mitchell tracked him down from his linebacking spot.
Well, the Cougs know they don't want to run up the middle against Nata and Olshansky. They feel they can have success with the speed of Jermaine Green, just going wide. And again, it's the block on the outside, as you talked about, Keith, coming up right there. Number 20, Sammy Moore, working against the true freshman Aaron Gibson, tied up right out here. This is a great job by Moore, as he just occupies Gibson long enough to keep him out of the play.
On first down from the 33-yard line, Gesser hands it off to Jerome Riley, trying to get around the corner. They've pinned him back there, and it's a big loss. Trying to run a reverse, he compounds the loss as he retreats, trying to break loose. Aaron Gibson is the man who spoiled that play.
But they're going to give him forward progress all the way to the 24-yard line, so all that wrestling that Gibson did there to push Riley back to inside the 20 is for naught.
But that play was doomed from the outset because it took too long to develop.
It almost seemed like Oregon may have been on another corner blitz because Gibson was in the backfield when Riley came on the reverse.
Riley has not seen the ball yet as a receiver, and he's been having a great season up to now. John Tippins is in the backfield now. He's the protector for Gesser as they go to the shotgun. And Gesser looking downfield, gets it off, throws it, ball good. And it's short of a first down, however, as Sammy Moore climbs up and gets it. Stephen Moore makes the tackle.
Keith, you got to wonder a little bit about the play selection by Mike Levenseller, offensive coordinator. Here they are playing with the wind at their back. They've rushed the ball 9 times and only thrown it 6 times with this strong wind at their backs. But Mike may not be all here anyway. Look, he's not even wearing a jacket. Got to be freezing down there.
3rd down and 5 for the Cougars. At 40, less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Gesser with good protection, puts air under it downfield. Darling out of bounds, incomplete. Wind blew it out of bounds. Wind got a hold of it. It was the high lob that the Cougar receivers love because they are great leapers and can make a play on it, and the wind blew that one away from them.
Charles Favroth doing a good job of forcing Darling to the sidelines, and this ball, as you said, Keith, the wind is just going to sail it about 2 yards out of bounds. Nice catch, but no catch.
And here's the punt from Bossler. Keenan Howe is waiting. Hold your breath, Cougars. He kicks it away from him. Ball takes a high bounce and goes sideways, and now just about the 10-yard line, and that's where it trickles out of bounds. So Oregon's pinned up, but they've only got 25 seconds to work into the wind. The BCS standings this week, the top 5. Now here's your second 5. You see the Southern California has moved up. Washington State packed in now with 2 teams in the top 10, with the Cougars 5th and Southern California 9th. And I'm not going to engage in any speculation about what may happen, because that's such a conglomeration of factors and things that can happen betwixt now and then. I'm just going to wait. There you go. First down from the 10-yard line. They run the ball. Smith trying to go to the outside, and he does very well for about 8 yards. Thank you. Good blocking from the Oregon Ducks to get him there, and Carl Pema was the man that got him out of bounds for the Cougars.
Keith, you talked about his quick feet. He really is a total package as a running back. We've seen his ability to cut back and make guys miss in small spaces, but at the end of that run, here he's looking right at Carl Pema. He just drops his shoulder and helmet and punishes the tackler.
Pema, of course, getting his first start last week in relief of Jason David, who's coming right along from his injury. Ball is handed off into traffic. Look at those feet. At the first down, it's up across the 25-yard line. I mean, he's sight.
Any question about the strength and the health of that left knee had to be answered on that play.
If you've ever wanted to use the term whirling dervish, you're looking at him.
Pretty good first half for the Ducks. You got to think, with the wind and everything, playing at Martin Stadium. The big play by Stephen Moore gets the touchdown, and the Ducks are even with the Cougs after 1.
And there's your time. Time all gone. We're 7-7 between Oregon and Washington State. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and the word from our ABC station. There's a wind that comes and goes. It goes from 5 to 25 in gusts. Jason Price sets up with Smith behind him, and Smith having some success as we get down toward the end of the first quarter. Here's a penalty flag. They continue to go to him, and he gets almost 6 yards on that carry.
Maybe another penalty against Oregon's offensive line for holding.
I saw the linesman make the signal that hooked him, and that's exactly what they called.
Blotty's got to be a little bit upset about the number of penalties now. That's 5, and we've just played a quarter and 1 play. But on the positive side for Oregon, they are running the ball effectively against the Coug defense.
It's the University of Washington 3, Oregon State favors 10.
At the spot a foul penalty, a yard gain, 10-yard penalty, so it's a first down and 19 after the holding call for the Ducks. Just outside the 15-yard line, and hand the ball again to Smith, who's looking for daylight, and he's got 2 yards before Carl Pema comes from his cornerback spot to make the tackle. Tomorrow, don't miss round 2 of the ISU Grand Prix Series of figure skating. Crucial championship points on the line when the USA Sasha Cohen and Jenny Kirk take to the ice. Skate Canada tomorrow, 3 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television. Second down and 17 for the Ducks. Blitz coming up the middle. He got it away, and the ball is deflected away. Good play by Ryan Long. Does he get a point?
Ryan Long
did fast defense?
Yes, he should, and he almost got his dream play, an interception returned for a touchdown. Great design of this typical screen. Watch the blitz here by Davis, 58, right up the middle, and then Long will drop out from his defensive tackle spot and almost come away with an interception.
Wally Davis playing that middle linebacker position is another one of the walk-ons on this Cougar team. Came out, took a chance, and made it. Third down and 17 now for the Ducks with Terrence Whitehead in the backfield. And Fife gets some heat. Time now. Throws over the head of the receiver and into the crowd. Wind blew that one away. Keenan Howry was the man under it, and no chance.
And the wind affects the ball even if it's at your back. At that time, you saw the ball wobble. It floated way over the head of the receiver and the defensive back, and which is basically a good thing because that play was covered from the start.
Trufant now. Marcus backs up near his own 40-yard line for Arroyo's punt. Watch this one sail. Trufant going backwards all the way back to the 26. Gets a little bit of a crack, and then he's grabbed and brought down. That's a pretty good play for the Ducks to keep him from breaking it big. Justin Fennessy, who's the hot man on their coverage, and he was down to make the play. Washington State now will possess the football at their own 33-yard line with Jermaine Green, the deep back behind Jason Gesser. A 7-7 ball game here in the second quarter. They pitch it back to Green. Green popping it out of there, breaking loose. One man. Couldn't do it. That one man held him up just long enough for help to come, and they finally drag him down at the 28-yard line. It was Keith Lewis.
Cougars feel that with the speed of Green running the edges, they're going to force the Oregon quarterback to have trouble in pass defense, have trouble with run defense trying to make the tackles. Outside is number 13, Marcus Binns. He misses a tackle right there, and then it's down the sidelines. Keith Lewis with the good angle allows Martin to make the tackle. This offensive line of the Cougs very mobile, getting out in front of a swift Jermaine Green.
That's a 39-yard run by Green. So that fattens up Jermaine's average pretty well. He's come on well in the second half of the season. Gesser going deep to the corner, and it is incomplete. Ball was thrown out in front. The Oregon defensive coverage on it was very good by Stephen Moore. Riley never had a chance to get to the ball.
You know, Keith, it looked like Jerome Riley was grabbing Stephen Moore. Should have been called pass interference against number 84, but this ball goes out of the back of the end zone. But watch the position by Moore. There's a grab. That could have been called. That should have been called against Jerome Riley. It definitely stopped Moore's progress towards the ball.
28-yard line, second down and 10 for Washington State. Mike Bush is the big guy down here to the left, and the coverage on him is nose to nose. He's available, too. He throws it too late. He threw it when Bush had double coverage, but 4 strides earlier, he was open. Now time for the Aflac trivia question. This week's question is, who holds the Pac-10 record for passing yards in a season? I know.
But it's either a Duck or a Cougar.
I bet it is.
I love these kind of questions. I know it's not me.
I'd have had those kind of questions. I'd been a 5-day captain. Gesser out of the shotgun on 3rd and 10, going deep again, and it's too long, just barely out of the reach of Sammy Moore.
We talked about keeping Jason guessing. That's the part of the plan for Oregon. They played zone on the previous play, and on this play, they brought the house. Man-to-man on the outside, but the pressure on Gesser causes this ball to be thrown too far for Sammy Moore. Sammy Moore got behind Stephen Moore, but look at Moretti coming. Also, Nata is there. And number 94, Junior Ciavi.
Here's a field goal try from Drew Dunning. It's 45 yards against the wind, and the wind is just fluffed up. Ball's in the air. It's good! Well, it looks like our money is invested in a good one.
And your money on the walk-on program. Almost a walk-off field goal here.
Yeah. 45-yarder from Drew Dunning to give the Cougars a 10-7 lead. A 10-7 lead for Washington State now with 13 minutes to go in the first half with one loss. Washington State being the only unbeaten team with Southern California and Arizona State both at 4-1. Drew Dunning right there just helped the cause considerably. with that high field goal into the wind. Timing was good, though. The wind had quieted down a bit.
And if he misses that kick, Oregon gets excellent field position.
Do they ever?
With the wind at their back. Big kick by Dunning.
Yep. Now let's see what Holiday can do with it and kicking it off for Washington State. Amundsen and Whitehead have come up outside their own 10-yard line. They don't believe he can kick it inside the 10 against that wind. Yes, he can. 2 yards deep into the end zone, and they're going to bring it out. The wedge. And the wedge gets him out across the 20, and here's penalty flags all over the place.
And penalty number 7 against the Ducks here in the first half.
Holding on Oregon. So a pretty good return out of the end zone is going to be nullified by that penalty. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last. We'll be there. The people of Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles and proud sponsor of the Heisman Trophy Awards. And the Office of National Drug Control Policy, parents, the anti-drug. I want to wish Jim Sturk a speedy recovery from his illness. He's been felled in this week in which there's been so much to do and so many good things happening for his school. He's athletic director here at Washington State. So good luck, Jim. I hope you're up and about soon. Ball is thrown on a line. Good pass. And the play is out of bounds. George Wrightster, the tight end, who's a very good receiver, making his first catch of the day, seeing the ball for the first time.
Yeah, he's the Ducks' second leading receiver, and if they're going to improve on their drives, they're going to have to get him more involved. Wrightster is a big target, very mobile down the field. You can see that Oregon has not had good field position nor much success on offense.
Yeah, he was the first receiver that the Washington State defensive coaches talked about.
Yeah. He blocks well, and he catches like a wide receiver.
And he got a first down on the play to the 23-yard line. Fife again throws quick, though. The ball sails away on him. Over the head of Jason Willis, incomplete. Well, it's getting dark clouds hanging on our shoulder right now, and we might get a little rain here very shortly.
You know, Keith, if you look at the top of the Oregon helmets, you can see raindrops are starting to hit the top of the green hat, and, of course, our camera as well.
Rained very hard last night. It's been a huge storm across the Pacific Northwest and down into California this whole weekend. Second down and 10. Fife gives the ball to Smith. He sees that little crack, cuts into it, and picks up 4 yards in a hurry. Matt Floberg, the fullback, was leading him.
Our Pacific Live game summary in a 10-7 game between two high-powered offenses. The defenses have shown well. Stopping Ontario Smith there for the Cougs, now bringing down Jason Fife. Oregon's defense got in the act, too, as Stephen Moore made the play of the game for Oregon so far with that 12-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
Crowd coming up now with their noisemakers trying to help the defense. Third down and 6 for Oregon from their 26. Fife, quick drop, looks to go quick, gets it in the air downfield. It's too long. And a penalty flag is thrown, and that could be interference called against Trufant. Trufant was guarding or checking Willis coming down the sidelines, and he may have been a little too authoritative.
The question is, will this be holding or will it be pass interference? Ball was way overthrown and not catchable, but he was definitely making contact. This was inaudible by Fife. He saw the press coverage man-to-man on the outside. He wants to give his tall Jason Willis a chance against Marcus Trufant. The bump right there, and the flags come shortly thereafter.
And it's judgment as to whether or not it might have been catchable had he not been interfered with.
Not really.
No. He couldn't have caught it with a butterfly net.
So, is that the way it's going to be, huh? That was a great call.
Ontario Smith is in the backfield again. Go Cougs.
Go Ducks.
And they track him down and get him in a hurry, short of the line of scrimmage. And that's the first time today they've stopped him. Didi Anchelonu made the tackle. Here's the Aflac trivia question again. Now, who holds the Pac-10 record for passing yards in a season? And the answer is Ryan Leaf. 1997, the team that went to the Rose Bowl. It is second down and 10 with Terrence Whitehead in the backfield for Oregon now. Willis coming around. Willis on a reverse. Number 8's got the ball, and he's short of the line, short of the first down marker as he crosses midfield. It's going to be about 2 yards short. Pat Bennett, linebacker, finally brought him down.
That was a pretty good run by a wide receiver, Jason Willis. He almost cut all the way back. Here he's going to come on the reverse, but then when he gets the ball here, the Cougs are out there. Ochelano does not make the tackle, but watches Willis is dragged down from behind by Bennett. Almost came out the other side.
3rd and 2. And Smith is back. Fife gives it to him. Oh, he's close. But that linesman coming in from the far side, if he's the marker.
I think you're going to be short by about a foot or so.
Yep, he's going to be short.
But now it's decision time for Bellotti.
Here comes the fullback Floberg back onto the field.
Ducks have been real good converting 4th and short this season.
They want to know just how much short is it, so they exercise their privilege of asking for measurement. This is both sides, for that matter.
Yeah.
Not a foot. Not a foot. Less than a foot.
A lot of options for Bellotti here. Number 1 option is the quarterback sneak with Jason Fife. Number 2 option would be number 2, Terrio Smith.
The first one is the safest.
Yeah, but then you're going right into the strength of the Cougars defensive line. 88, Ryan Long.
8 people in the box. They go to Smith. He got it. Just slid enough to the right, slid off the stack, and got the first down. He went right off Tim Day's hip.
That's not a bad place to be either. Tim Day, 280-pound tight end. Number 85 is the lead blocker here. Look at the patience by Smith. Stepping over a tackler there, keeping the pad level low, and picking up the first down.
Just short of the 46-yard line on the Cougar side of the field, and there's light rain right now. 9:50 to go in the first half. Cougars lead 10-7. Ball thrown outside, trying to set up a screen on the outside for Jason Willis. And he'll get down close to the 40-yard line.
Didi Anchelonu with great speed out there to, first of all, recognize the play and then take off and make the tackle. You don't see that very often out of defensive ends.
Smith comes out. Floberg comes back in. Keenan Howry has been very quiet so far today. He has not seen the ball, except on punts.
And Parker only has 1 catch himself.
Now Willis and Howry are both wide to the bottom of your picture there. Fife coming toward him, got a good block to give him time, and the ball is thrown incomplete. Went out of bounds. That's Howry under it. Got his hands on it. Couldn't reel it in until he was out of bounds.
And Marcus Trufant may have had his hands on number 15 as well. Oregon coaches complaining on the sidelines. Trufant with close coverage on Howry. Tough to keep a ball in a spiral when it's wet and slippery. See Trufant flash in front and keeps that left hand away from Howry.
Well, it moved the ball back about 6 inches when he put it down. 3rd down and 6. Fife Again, rolling out, looking downfield. His receiver's in the middle of a bunch of Cougars and makes the catch, and here's a penalty flag.
Yeah, this one may be against Washington State for roughing the passer. I think it got Ryan Long.
Turned him upside down.
What a great pass by Fife as he waited for Willis to clear and find a spot in that secondary. Fife showing his toughness, stepping up into the pocket.
Plays better than the penalty.
Man, that's a shot.
On the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run.
That's just a super job by the senior Jason Willis to give his quarterback a target in a sea of maroon jerseys.
They tack it on. They tacked it on to the play.
And that puts them in the red zone where Oregon has been outstanding in putting the ball either in the end zone or through the uprights.
It'll be marked at the 16-yard line. First down for the Ducks. And Ontario Smith is the deep back. He goes in motion. That leaves Terrence Whitehead. Fife wants to throw it. Looking into the end zone. Goes to the corner, and it's incomplete. Whitehead, but the ball wasn't anywhere near it.
Now, Mawuli Davis did a good job cutting off the angle for Whitehead to get to that ball. Ran all the way from his middle linebacker position and stayed with the tailback out of the backfield.
Second down and 10. Ducks certainly in a position to tie this thing if they can't get it in the end zone. 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first half. Leitster is number 81, just shifting to the outside, leaving the backfield empty. That gives them 4 receivers. Quickly throw the ball to Willis, who shakes the first man. He got away, and he's to the goal line. Touchdown. Ducks stick it in there. He got away from Carl Pema. Pema had him out around the 8-yard line, and he just shook him off and took it in.
And took it in for his first career touchdown for the Ducks. And didn't he know it? When he made the cut away from Pema and gets down towards the goal line, he stretched out. He's had over 88 receptions in his Duck career. Finally, one into the end zone.
Keep in mind that none of the players on this Washington State team has ever beaten Oregon. None of them. Fife will hold it, and Jared Siegel, sophomore out of Sacramento, will kick it. And it's good. And so the Oregon Ducks get a big play and then tack on a roughing the passer penalty, puts them in position, and Jason Willis pays it off, and it's 14-10 Oregon.
And what Fife did is he saw the man-to-man coverage, the blitz by the Cougars. He knew he had Willis singled on the outside, but you can't say enough about the effort by Jason Willis to make that man miss there and still be 10 yards from the goal line. Now he makes contact 4 yards from the goal line, spins back to the inside, stretches out, and scores his first career touchdown. Outstanding play for Jason Willis.
He broke the plane before he lost the ball. Or as that old homily goes in football, ground can't cause a fumble.
Not even plastic ground.
No.
This is a great surface, too. This field turf is just terrific. Especially on bad days here in the Northwest.
This one isn't over, but so far we've been lucky considering the kind of weather that's swirling around this part of the country. The Oregon coast has just been pounded with huge waves. Enormous force. 12 plays, 92 yards goes Oregon. Helped out by a couple of penalties. Here's the kick, high, and it's way back there. There's no return on this one. It'll come out to the 20 where it'll be first down. Washington State now trailing by 4. Next Saturday, we've got another Pac-10 old-timer. The Washington Huskies will be going down to visit the Oregon Ducks at Autzen Stadium. And if you hear rumbling and thumping and funny sounds coming from the south of you, that's what it'll be. It'll be at 12:30 Pacific on ABC Sports, the class of college football.
Huskies are getting warmed up for that battle next week, aren't they?
They jumped on Oregon State 24-10 in the second quarter. Here's Fife handing the ball off to John Tippins. And Tippins at 220 pounds pounds away for 5 yards.
Pretty good leg drive by Tippins as he was being bear hugged by Igor Olshansky, a 305-pounder.
Now with Washington State possessing the ball, a note from the last time they possessed it to score, Gesser with a career 63rd career touchdown pass. And he now passes Danny O'Neill, the Oregon quarterback. O'Neill quarterbacked the Ducks in the Rose Bowl back in the '97 Rose Bowl. That should be a first down for Washington State. A good hard run to the right side and good movement by the offensive line on that side. Derek Roach and Riley Fitzchapel. Put it on the 31 for the first down at 7.5 minutes to go.
You know, Keith, one thing that's happened here is the wind has died down. You talk about home field advantage here.
Quiet.
Cougs go into the wind and they turn off the wind machine. How do you do that?
I don't know. They talked to the shaman before the game. That's close to 4 yards as Tippins was having a pretty good rift with a bunch of Ducks. Sam Lightbody, number 75, is in the ball game right now at the tackle position. Sam is not hardly light, 310-pound sophomore out of Huntington Beach, California. Give him 3, call it second down and 7. And it's Tippins. Now Gesser in the shotgun. Gets it off, and it's way, I don't think he ever had control of it. There's a penalty flag back in the neighborhood of where the quarterback threw the ball. Could be holding.
This could be roughing the passer,
or
too.
It could be roughing, yeah. I think he was a druthers.
Personal foul. Face mask on the knee pad.
Whoa, they call a 15-yarder.
That's 8 penalties now against the Ducks here in the first half, and that's just inexcusable. Jason Gesser's having all kinds of problems throwing the ball. That ball was landed about 8 yards out of bounds, slipped out of his hands. But Pilati's got to be going nuts. At least he knows what topic to bring up at halftime, huh?
Yeah, I would say so.
You don't need a writer. This is Green going toward the outside, and good effort by Jermaine Green on the first down play. He got 8 yards on that carry. He's become much more assertive in the last couple of ball games.
Yeah, he's averaging almost 5 yards per carry and having a lot better afternoon than that today. And he's showing his power inside. We've already seen that he possesses speed to get to the perimeter. Sam Lightbody is the injured Cougar.
Sam's had a lot of trouble staying healthy all season. When you're carrying 300-plus pounds, you know, you're putting a lot of pressure on knees and ankles and feet.
Especially when you're spread out over 6'9", as he is, or 6'9". Wow.
And coming from the stance that you have to assume as an offensive lineman. So Margaret Casanova earlier today, the wife of the late Lynn Casanova, the great Oregon coach. She's traveled with teams. I'm sure having a good time and good for her.
You bet.
Second down and 3. Going to tell you a story, too. We're up to our elbows in Ducks around here. I got one sitting to my right. Bill Moose is involved in part of that story as well. Milhauser comes into the ball game now. Nick Milhauser comes in at the tackle spot for Washington State. It's second down and 3. Pitch it out to Green. He's got a block on the corner. He's got his first down. Crosses the 40 and goes down near the 38-yard line. Bill Moose, the current athletic director at the University of Oregon, and he's done a heck of a job down there. That's what he looked like when he played for the Cougars back in 70 and 72. Dan Fouts was playing for the Ducks, and Bill Moose was playing for the Cougars.
Yeah, we were both, if you can believe it.
Yeah, both all converts, weren't you?
Pack 8 at the time. And my hair looked a lot like that. Oh, the 70s.
Yep.
Glad they're gone.
Put it on the 39-yard line. It's very close to it for a first down for Washington State. Gesher with a lot of time this time and gets it in the air for Darling. He's got it. Caught it in front of Stephen Moore at the 5-yard line. Great play by DeVard Darling. And a good pass by Jason Gesser.
Now that's what Jason does better than any quarterback in this conference. He puts the ball in areas where his receivers can make the play. DeVard Darling's got great speed. That was a beautiful move. And then the ball is thrown high. He can go up high over 5'9" Stephen Moore to make the catch spectacularly.
And it's first and goal Cougars at the 5. Now they have not been all that great in the red zone. Let's see what they decide to do here. They've got Green in the ball game. Give it to him. He goes into the middle, and he's going to pick up 3 yards before Kevin Mitchell can put him down.
But the thing that Green's doing is he's dragging tacklers after contact. He's not being driven backwards. He's not being stopped in the line of scrimmage. He's picking up positive yards as he did that time.
They're last in the conference in scoring from the red zone.
This is really the red zone, though, when you get inside the 5-yard line.
It is.
This is almost the, well, let's call it the maroon zone.
Well, they don't give him the 2, they gave him the 3, so he only got 2 yards on that carry. He's still the single back. This is for Bush, the basketball player. Touchdown, Cougars. 6-6 against 5-11. Bush wins. Nothing you can do about it. It's just jump ball, and he's got an edge.
Yeah, and he's got a quarterback that throws it perfectly high and soft. Bush can get down the field. He can turn back around to the quarterback, gather himself, and get up in the air, and it's no shot for Binns.
The extra point is good. And so the Cougars go back to the lead at 4 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the first half. 17-14. Jump ball. Hanging on the wall of the Cub, a little singing to the choir there. That's similar to the one they hung on the silo out in Dusty. Ball being put out on the 35-yard line now for the kickoff. Conversation going on with Jason Gesser. Talking to him about he just threw his 64th career touchdown pass. He's now, the man immediately in front of him is Jake Plummer, who had 65 at Arizona State. So here's Adam Holliday to kick it off, and it is Alan Amundsen and Terrence Whitehead waiting, and that's a pretty good kick, carrying well down to the 5-yard line into the wind with Amundsen taking it. Hesitated for a moment, and that's deadly. Took him down right at the 15-yard line.
Pretty good ball game this afternoon. Who would have thought that last 2 seasons that both these schools would be in the company of Miami and Oklahoma and Texas, but there they are, Washington State and Oregon, 18-3.
In the last 2 years, this conference has been a briar patch. It's been tough.
Yeah, it has.
Put it on the 16 for this possession for the Ducks. Fife comes underneath, and Smith is behind him, and Smith gets it. Little hole coming around the left side. One man got him and slowed him down. That was Pat Bennett, and help came, but still, he's out to nearly the 18. Ontario pretty well has said that he won't be here next year. He's going looking for the Sunday stuff.
Yeah, he's ready. You know, he doesn't need any more seasoning, and one of those things that will convince you that maybe your time is here to go is that you can start getting nicked up as he did against SC.
Second down 4 for the Ducks. 3:50 to go in the first half. They take it into the middle, and there's some big people waiting inside there. Jeremy Williams, Ryan Long.
The Cougs can really rotate their entire defensive line. They've got 4 defensive tackles in Williams, Kangaika, Cook, and Long, and then a defensive end. We've seen Ochelano, Brown, Shavies. We'll see some of Braidwood. So they have the ability. Ty Tupai is in the game as well. A 5th defensive tackle, number 97.
Smith comes out of the ball game. It's 3rd down and 3 for Oregon. Crowd coming up here trying to help. And Oregon, Fife comes to the line of scrimmage and calls timeout. Nobody seemed to know exactly and for sure what they ought to be doing, so Jason calls timeout. Well, hear the noise, kind of noise that you get when you go to see the Ducks at home. It's 3rd and 3. 3:11 to play in the first half. They send Willis in motion. Fife hands it away inside to Whitehead, and he's short. No, now. He got a good mark, didn't he? That's first down.
And that shows you the confidence that the Duck coaching staff has in a true freshman, Terrence Whitehead. On a crucial 3rd down and about 4, he picks up 5. The Ducks know that they can count on Terrence Whitehead. Last week against Stanford, he started and rushed for 132 yards. He has 2 touchdowns rushing on the season and 1 receiving.
Smith back. Cougars beat on him right at the line of scrimmage. Ontario's a little bit like a big old thick rubber band. You pin him down and he still pops up.
Great PA announcer.
Doug Johnson, he's giving him the business. No game. Looked like Ontario was waiting for him, waiting to see if he was going to do it again. He teaches at the School of Communication here at Washington State. 2nd down and 10. Coming to the outside. Look at him cut back into that crack. Oh, my goodness, he's got good vision.
Ontario Smith, number 2 carry. On the tackle, Virgil Williams, number 24.
Coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John Saunders will have a drawer full of highlights and analysis from all the games around the country today. Notre Dame had a hard day with Navy. Ohio State had a hard day with Purdue. Just outside the 33, 3rd down 4. Well, they were waiting for him that time.
Yeah, Ty Tupai, 97. When you're running straight up the middle against the Cougs, you're not going to get much. These defensive tackles are just outstanding. Little trap play inside, but Tupai, number 97, beats the trapping block of Nick Stites.
Cougars now call the timeout with 1 minute and 24 seconds to play. It is 4th down and 4 for Oregon. But the Cougars would like to get their hands on the ball one more time before the bell rings.
Well, Monday night, Al Michaels and John Madden have pulled out the Yellow Blazers for Monday Night Football's historic 500 telecast. The Raiders take on the Broncos at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And here's how they came on the air in Game 1 back in 1970.
Now I'd like you to meet the man who'll be doing the play-by-play in our Monday night series. Crisp, knowledgeable, authoritative, a veteran at his trade, Keith Jackson. And Keith, I take it you'll be pointing up some of the rookies who'll be performing here tonight.
Well, Howard, we sure have a lot of them in professional football this year.
Speaking of hair.
And you were a veteran 32 years ago.
Well, 50 years ago this season, right down about 10, 15 yards from here, I did my first college football broadcast on radio. The stadium was wood.
And if you're not careful, we'll bring that out and we'll put that on the air. Oh, goodness. I told you I had hair back then.
Mine was easier to take care of.
Yeah, but mine's going the other way, too, isn't it?
I've still got my Cougar jacket on. It feels good.
Well,
he had to take his leather jersey off because it's too small. 4th down and 4. Arroyo's in to punt. Gets a lot of air under it. High hanger. Trufant Takes it. Doesn't call the fair catch. Oh, look at that block. And then he runs into one of his own men and goes down up at the 31-yard line. It was Will Dirting downfield. He got a terrific block for him. And then when he started to go right, boom, there was another Cougar and he ran into it.
Coupont's a lot like Keenan Howard, just totally fearless, and they always want to return straight up the field. Watch the block by Dirting there on Justin Finney.
That's a pretty good collision because Finney's always going 40 miles an hour every time he's on the field. So from the 31, they give it away and go to the ground game. Working up the middle, it's Jermaine Green, and he's got a pretty good carry out of it, close to 7 yards. And we are at 1:04 left to go, and each team with 2 times out remaining. Now we go inside a minute. Cougars going without a huddle. Green's now past 100 yards, and Gesser, with time to throw, wants to go big. It's slapped up in the air, and it falls incomplete. Darrell Wright was the man who got his hand on it. Darrell Wright has not been all that happy with his season, he says, because he actually was into the game to be a sack man, and he hasn't had that many.
Just a half a sack, and that came in the first game of the year against Mississippi State for the Ducks. But that's the second time this afternoon he's got his hands on the ball. Unfortunately, the first time he didn't get enough hand on the ball, and Darling made the catch for the touchdown.
Riley's been quiet today, too. It is 3rd down and 4. Gesser sets it up, gives it to Green, got 2 blockers in front of him, and he's going to pick up the first down at the 45-yard line, but David Martin very much involved in keeping Green from a big gain.
Under 40 seconds when this ball is snapped for the Cougs.
David Martin on the tackle.
Gesser standing on his 40. Missed him. Had him and missed him. Jerome Riley was in between them, and Gesser missed him.
Riley still looking for his first reception of the afternoon. Gesser surveying the entire field, and that's just a bit of miscommunication. The lane that Gesser wanted was not the one that Riley was in.
2nd down and 10, just outside the 45. Here are 5 wideouts and 6 defensive backs. And they run it. And it goes to Jermaine Green. And Mike Bush gives him a block. And he gets around the corner. Penalty flag. Might call Mike for holding on that block.
Yeah, I think you're right, Keith. Whenever a receiver's out in space like that trying to block for a running back, very tempting to just reach out and grab and get called for the holding penalty. Good call, though. Draw play. Good speed by Green. There's the hold right there. You can see that Bush has Marcus Benz by the throat.
Yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So time about gone. We're at 27 seconds to go, and Mike Price pacing the sidelines. His team is leading 17-14. We've seen a lot of things here in this first half. They're getting down toward at least a third of the way, if not a halfway through the playbook. 2nd down and 11 after that holding call. 9-yard gain, 10-yard penalty.
And both teams have run the ball more than they've thrown it today.
Absolutely. That's a surprise.
Yeah.
Pressure coming. They flush him out. Gets it away. Didn't get all of it, though. The ball's roaming around like a goose, and it comes down incomplete. DeVar Darling got his hand on it, but Stephen Moore was in his shirt pocket, and he couldn't make the catch. That ball slipped out of Gesser's control and just sort of wobbled downfield.
Because that big man, Haloti Ngata, was coming after Jason Gesser. Watch 96 here, put the big hit on him. Whoa. And Devin Long is on the other side of it. Here is Moore. Watch him just go up and try to spike this ball down. That's a great play by Stephen Moore as he climbs the back of Mike Bush here to knock it away, rather DeVar Darling.
So 45-yard line, 3rd down 10 with 18 seconds to go in the first half. And that's out of bounds. Nope, didn't get out of bounds. You see him rotate those arms. That means he's still inbounds, and the Clock can keep on going. That was Jonathan Smith, and that's 4, 3, 2, 1. The first half is over. And at halftime, it's Washington State 17 and the Oregon Ducks 14. So it's close enough to be still up for grabs between these two old foes. And this series has been very close across the years. But Washington State comes into the game as the only unbeaten in the Pac-10, and the Oregon Ducks trying to hang on and stay in the hunt themselves, at least for no worse than second place in the conference. Coming up next, the Capital One halftime show with John Saunders. So stay with us.
College football on ABC Sports, Championship Television.
Well, we have blue skies on the horizon, which promises us good weather for the remainder of our ball game here, with the Washington State Cougars leading the Oregon Ducks 17-14. One of the things that jumps out at me is that Jermaine Green has a goodly bit more yardage running the ball than does Ontario Smith. But I guess that's what happens when you got 5 guys chasing one.
And that's what happens when you look at our Pacific Life game summary. You see the 113 yards for WSU. Green has 111 of those, but the one turnover for Washington State cost them when Stephen Moore took the ball away from Jason Gesser for the score. But Jermaine Green has really been the surprise. They've run the ball more than Gesser has passed the ball, and Green has been able to average almost 10 yards per carry. Stripped off runs of 15 and 39 yards, and really has kept the Oregon defense off balance.
Now, what do you see here for the second half? You see them going more to the air. The run dominated the first half.
Well, and it's calm now, Keith. You talked about the blue sky. Well, the wind has died. The rain has gone away. You know, this is a perfect time now for both quarterbacks to get their passing game cranked up and to get after it that way.
All right, that's where we are at the moment, 17-14, and the second half coming up as we visit with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith, I spoke with both coaches at halftime. Mike Price was really relatively happy despite being up only 3 points. He said, I think we can throw on these guys. Actually, no, I know we can throw on these guys. He said the weather has really held them and Jason Gesser from going a more downfield attack. For Mike Price, he was more disappointed with the officiating. He felt like he hasn't got the breaks, the home cooking, but that's what you'd expect here at Martin Field. He said, we got to clean up the penalties, as Dan pointed out. He says, other than that, we'll be all right. Keith?
All right. Playing on the field turf here, so they don't worry a whole lot about mildly inclement weather. Water gets up around your shoe tops. That's a problem. Then what kind of surface you're on. But it's been actually quite pleasant today. Over across the state of Washington, the Huskies and the Oregon State Beavers are playing their annual. It's 31-22 Washington leading Oregon State at the half. And next week, we're going to have these Oregon Ducks and the Washington Huskies in their annual fracas down at Autzen Stadium in Eugene.
And a rare non-game last year between the Ducks and the Huskies because of that wacky Pac-10 schedule. But that's been corrected. That should be a good one next week as well.
Yeah, the Oregon folks a lot of them were saying we don't feel like we've had a whole season unless we play the Huskies. So they can pick it up next week. Sammy Moore and Jonathan Smith are the deep people to receive the second half kickoff for Washington State. Jared Siegel will kick it away for the white-shirted Oregon Ducks. Matter of fact, they're in all white, and he knocks it way back into the end zone. Sammy Moore will not come out, and it'll be Washington State at the 20.
Take a look at our quarterback comparison. You can see the numbers are way down for both Fife and Gesser. In fact, Gesser throwing less than 50%. But no interceptions. They've been very good with the ball. That's what you would expect from a couple of the passing efficiency leaders in the conference and in the nation.
Gesser now has 64 career touchdown passes, getting 2 in that first half. So here we go. Second half of play from the 20 for the Cougars. Gesser turns and hands the ball to Jermaine Green. And Green adding a lot of stock to the Washington State running game over the second half of the season. We'll take it up to the 26.
Well, and that's just an attitude run coming out of the locker room. You can just imagine Mike Price and the offensive coaches saying, we're going to take that ball and we're going to ram it right at the Ducks. right in their midsection, and then later on we'll widen the running game and go to the perimeter again.
The one factor that has not surfaced today for the Washington State offense has been, oh my goodness, Gesser under pressure throws an interception to Kevin Mitchell, and he scores a touchdown. They were trying to set up a screen on the left-hand side. Gesser buried under the rush, threw the ball anyway, and Mitchell walks in for the TD.
He was buried under the rush of Igor Olshansky, 6'6", 300-pounder. Gesser gets away with this last week against Arizona State when he tried to lob a couple of screen passes in there. But Kevin Mitchell, expecting it, reading the play, picks him off and goes into the end zone. As the Ducks scored twice today with their much maligned defense.
Siegel now for the point. Snap was high, kick is good. 21-17. The Oregon Ducks have 2 gift touchdowns now for the defense. And they lead the ball game, and Mike Bellotti couldn't be happier about the way things have turned.
53 is Olshansky right at the quarterback, forcing him to throw it early. Look at Mitchell. Read the play, steps in front of Jermaine Green, and then steps all the way into the end zone.
Look what I found.
No kidding.
He'll take it.
See, one head coach still debating and arguing with the officials. The other head coach debating and arguing with his quarterback.
What do you reckon Kevin's got in mind with that that arrangement of the hair and the beard?
Well, neither of them. I think they're both misplaced. I think he's a little upside down.
I'm going to ask you when I get down to Eugene.
You do that.
All right, seems like we've seen this before. It happened just a moment ago. Jared Siegel kicking off for Oregon. And the sun now reaches into the stadium as we have the blue sky coming down out of the north. And here's the kick. It's another good one. That's well back in the end zone. Don't come. He stops just about 6 inches from the goal line. Sammy Moore. And they'll come out to the 20. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Pacific Life. Annuities, insurance, and investments. Rely on the strength of Pacific Life. And Zocor. Talk to your doctor about Zocor today. Well, Jason has been dinged twice today for 2 Oregon touchdowns. One, the ball was just stripped from him, taken away from him. This, an interception. He turns and hands the ball off. And this time the Oregon Ducks, figuring that Washington State's going to run with Green, they jump all over him at the line of scrimmage or give him a yard, maybe.
Big man Haloti Ngata making that play, Keith. And you talk about picking a defense up. This defense has just been horrible earlier this year against USC and against Arizona State. They got back on track against Stanford last week. Major adjustments in the secondary made by Nick Aliotti. And now today, 2 defensive touchdowns. And that's been the difference in the score so far.
I think the Cougars have been helping them a little bit, too. Fake it. Throw it down the middle. Pass caught by Mike Bush. And Lanky Mike has the first down at the 46-yard line for Washington State. Hard to cover him. He's quite quick. He's very strong, and he's 6'6".
And his quarterback is determined to start playing a little bit better. Coverage way too loose by Stephen Moore as he allows Bush to cut to the inside and pick up a huge gain.
That went for 26. It's first down at the 46. Hands it away to Green. Pops off, trying to pop off the hip of the blocker there, but Kevin Mitchell spoiled it. And he goes down about a yard short of the line of scrimmage. And here is John Saunders from New York.
Kevin Mitchell, number 39 in the tackle. Loss of 1 yard to play.
Well, Keith, Oklahoma fell down to Texas A&M on Reggie McNeil's third touchdown pass of the day to make it 2013. Nate Hibble comes right back 68 yards to Curtis Fagan. He gets a touchdown, and Oklahoma has just added a field goal to get the lead, 23-20. Keith.
And right now, the Oregon Ducks are giving the Washington State Cougars a hard time, and there's a duck down on the field and hurt on that play. Aaron Gibson, the quarterback. Washington State's going to be looking at third down and about 8 and a half or 9 on the third down play, but timeout now for the injured Duck.
And that's part of the plan for Mike Levenseller, offensive coordinator for the Cougs. Run wide, see if the young corners, Gibson, who's only 5'8", 179 pounds, can not only handle the pass defense, but also come up and make tackles. That time he was just overpowered. Watch Gibson, 26, go low.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, leading with his head right on the knees.
My goodness, dangerous. He's up. And he's dragging a leg. But where he put his head was what made that dangerous.
Real Cougar football, tune in at 10 o'clock to Fox Sports.
Ducks are thin at corner. Marcus Binns will come in. Already seen him victimized on the jump ball by Mike Bush at the end of the first half.
Binns is out there, Favroth is out there, Moore. Safeties remain Keith Lewis and Marley Tucker. Rasuli Webster's dinged up. He's not, I don't think he's played today, has he?
No, and the Ducks right now have just 2 linebackers in the game. Kevin Mitchell and David Martin, and 5 defensive backs on third and long.
Call it 3rd and 9. Gesser with good protection goes to the sidelines. The pass is caught, and I say out of bounds. Well, DeVar Darling trying to keep his feet in and catch the ball as he fell out of bounds, but apparently he was not successful doing it because there were 2 officials right there to wave it off instantly. And so Cougars now have to punt it. But they're going to kick the ball, and it's going to up into a bright, bright sun that's just broken out here a few minutes ago. And I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Keenan Howard to see the ball if Bosler puts it in the air high.
Yeah, and he's shading his eyes right now.
And he does. He kicks it way up in the air. And Keenan comes over, calls fair catch, and makes the catch at the 13-yard line. So that's a good play by Keenan Howard under difficult conditions. 39-yard punt, sends them deep. Cougars trail by 3. Aaron Gibson on the bench. And they've got ice on that right leg, you can see. So that was the injury to him. The ball is on the 13-yard line. Oregon owns it. They lead 21-17. And here comes Ontario Smith going to the outside, wants to go the other way, caught from behind. That's Ryan Long, ran him down from the back.
Great team defense. They've really bottled up Ontario Smith this afternoon. Not much to that left side as they tried to hit it that time. A lot of rushes right up the middle, but with Ontario, he may start up the middle and make all kinds of different cuts. You know, Keith, you talked about the sun, how it was in Howery's eyes on that punt return. It's going to be right in the eyes of the quarterback, Jason Fife, now.
Yep.
As he tries to find the receivers over the middle.
And by the time the Cougars get the ball, probably in the 4th quarter, the field will be mostly in shadow, so they won't have that problem.
Naturally.
Yep, but yes. I told you, talk to the gentleman. Second down and 8. Smith searching his way through there. He was trying to come back toward the sidelines, and Marcus Trufant stopped him from doing that after Virgil Williams had hit him around the knees.
Virgil Williams is going to come right up in here as he recognizes the play. Watch number 24. And that's a great tackle there, and Trufant was ready if he missed.
Ball is down on the 18-yard line. And it's 3rd down and 5. Crowd coming up trying to help the defense. That's Reichster. He's caught 1 ball today. They send Jason Willis to the wide side and throw underneath it and hit the umpire. And it is intercepted. No. Or is it caught? It is Reichter making the catch on the ricochet.
Unbelievable.
Hit the umpire, bingo, and went up in the air, and Reichter saw the ball, and the defender did not.
And not only did Reichter see it, he caught it, and then he leans forward and picks up a first down. Look at that effort. Durding has got him by the ankles. Well, that ball just drills our umpire. Talk about presence of mind by Reichter. He's being held, tackled legally by Durding, but after the catch, he knows what he needs to get the first down, and he goes and gets it.
Put it on the 24 and give the Ducks a first down. And give the umpire a poultice, an ice pack for the wound. Here's Smith caught at the line of scrimmage. Ontario bumped into one of his own just as he started to make his cut back to the left.
Ducks are trying a little reverse play. This is Amundsen coming around on the reverse. They fake it to him. And then it's another trap play they're trying to run up inside. But Ryan Long is at the bottom of this pile here. Or rather, the defensive tackle just snuffed that trap block again.
Fred Chavis coming from the outside.
That's who it was.
Hurried up things, yep. Second down. Ball thrown to the outside, and Fife misses Keenan Howry. And Keenan was open. That's a hard ball to throw, though, when you're running for your life and your wideout's running as hard as he can as well.
One thing the Cougs have done with their outstanding cornerbacks, Trufant and Pema, they've shut down Keenan Howry and Sammy Parker. Each has just one catch this afternoon.
But the two defensive touchdowns have given Oregon a 21-17 lead at 9 minutes in the third quarter. From the outside, blitz coming. And down he goes back at the 15-yard line.
Great call by Bill Doba, defensive coordinator for the Cougs. Brings the corner blitz, Jeremy Bohannon from the short side of the field. Here comes Bohannon, and then there's also pressure here from Chavis. Again, that will force Fife to step up into the pocket where the big guys are. Ryan Long with another sack for the Cougs.
Got his sack. Look out, Bill Walker's going to get his tattoo yet. They kick it from the 5-yard line. It's a good kick by Arroyo. Taken by Trufant, going to the outside. He gets away from the first wave, and the second one gets him. And he goes out of bounds on the Oregon side of the field, a 47-yard punt, an 18-yard return, and the Cougars have it at the Oregon 46. .8:24 to go in the third quarter. Washington State possessing the ball on the Oregon side of the field for their first snap of this possession at the 46. They send Mike Bush out. John Tippins is in the backfield with Gesser. Jerome Riley remains very quiet today. He's going down the middle, now goes to the outside. Jason Gesser can't get to him, and he has to go the other way. He's got a man. And it is dropped. It is dropped by the tight end, Troy Bieneman. Gesser scrambling went way wide to the left. Bieneman was available. He just simply dropped the ball.
He has a great ability to escape and a real awareness of where the pressure is coming from. Watch him pull away from Olshansky there, runs away from his own offensive lineman, and unfortunately is betrayed by his young tight end, Troy Bieneman, as another drop pass on another play made by Jason Gesser.
I don't know if I'd want to throw it over there. I think he's had about 4 drops on that one side today. They got 3 wide outs at the bottom of the picture and 2 at the top. So that's 5 he's got to choose from. He goes quickly to Bush. Bush is hit right on the sidelines. Mike reaching for the marker, but he's going to be called out at the 40. And he was dueling with Marcus Benz.
Benz has got to be a little bit gun shy. So he's going to be playing off about 8 yards. Here is Benz, 13. Well-designed play as Benz was distracted by Darling on the inside, but still came up and made the tackle.
So it is 3rd down and 4. Washington State with a great opportunity, and so far they haven't done anything with it. They throw it hard. He throws it to DeVard Darling. Darling really didn't see the ball until it was immediately in his face, and he could not make the catch. The ball was thrown very hard.
And you saw DeVard pound his chest saying, my fault. Slant route right here. Thrown a little bit too high. Thrown hard, but again, anytime a receiver gets both hands on the ball, you're going to get that type of reaction from the quarterback.
Mossler is in the punt, freshman out of Elma. In the Arizona State game, he took off on 4th down and 9 and ran for a big first down in that ball game. This is way high. This could be pretty good. Cougars down covering it if they can figure out where it is. It hits one of the Cougars down around the 6-yard line, and that's where Oregon's going to possess it. Ducks have not been able to get good field position in this 3rd quarter. Let us spend a moment for an update from John Saunders.
Keith, Oklahoma having a tough time remaining unbeaten this afternoon against A&M. Reggie McNeil, the freshman, 40 yards to Terrence Murphy. That's McNeil's 4th touchdown pass of the day, and it puts A&M on top again by 4, 27-23. And by the way, there are only 3 remaining unbeaten. Bowling Green gets their first loss now, 26-17 to Northern Illinois. Keith.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the leaves are falling in. So are the big boys, huh? Ohio State just got out in time today, too. Jason Fife throws, and it is caught by his big tight end, and I mean big, Tim Day. 280-pound freshman. He'll be a pretty good size when he grows up.
He's a pretty good blocker. He's only had 3 catches so far this season. I like the job that Dirting did on him. Well, as soon as he caught the ball, he's kept him from just about a 1-2 yard gain.
You know what going to happen to him? If he doesn't push back from the table pretty soon,
he'll be an offensive tackle.
There you go. 2nd down and 7.5 or so. Cougar defense swarming, trying to keep the Ducks pinned. And they've done a pretty good job of it there. Pat Bennett and Mawuli Davis. The 2 linebackers in there.
Time for our Chrysler passing playbook, Keith. And last drive, it was a rather unusual 3rd down conversion. This is Art Hines, and this is George Reister, and Dirting is in the middle here. Reister goes across the middle on 3rd down and about 7 yards. The ball's going to bounce off of our umpire, Art Hines. Reister makes the catch, picks up the 1st down. Hines, 6'3", 250, runs at 40 and about 7 flat. The true senior citizen.
Out of the end zone, Jason Fife lets it go down the sidelines, and it's intended for Keenan Howery, and it's overthrown. Keenan's seen several balls like that go well over his head today. And so the Ducks are held by the Cougar defense, and they'll have to punt it out of the end zone.
Second leading receiver for the Ducks on the season is Reister, just running a clear-out pattern there, taking Dirting out of the way, but Fife way off target.
Low line drive kick to Trufant. Gets a little help, now runs out of help and goes down on the 40. So once again, they start a possession on the Oregon side of the field. Didn't do anything with the last one. They're going to put them on the 39-yard line for the 1st down.
They've had good field position this entire 2nd half, Keith.
It doesn't last all day either. If you don't take advantage of some opportunities. Coming up the 2nd half of our doubleheader today, you got the Southern California Trojans at the Farm going against the Stanford Cardinal here on ABC Sports right after our game is completed. Gesser's under center with a single back. Green gets it. Trying to go to the outside, and the Ducks do a good job of handling. They get him right about the line of scrimmage. David Moretti. They feel that he can run outside, but when you're running to a short side, it's pretty easy for the linebackers to gang up on you when you make a cut, and that's exactly what they did there.
And Gesser is struggling here in the 2nd half, but so is Green. Ducks have held him down pretty good. He had 111 yards rushing in the 1st half, just 8 so far here in the 2nd half on 5 carries.
Bush has come back into the ball game. We're going to have the 5 wideout gig again here, as Gesser out of an empty backfield gets pretty good protection. Now he throws it, and he intended it for DeVard Darling. Darling broke off the route, turned back inside. He was doubled anyway, And with 5 wideouts, there was nobody really truly available except the short guy, and he didn't choose to throw it to him.
I think he was praying on this one because Ben's 13 has DeVar Darling to the outside. 23 is Marley Tucker. DeVar breaks his route off, and the closest man to the ball turns out to be Marley Tucker. That's heads up by Tucker. With 2 wide receivers on his side of the field, he had to decide which of the 2 to double.
They need to think first down here. They go to 3 wideouts. It's 3rd down and 10. They're going to have to give it up. Good field position again, and here comes the heat. Passes away, and he's hit as he throws, and he misses. He had a chance with Jerome Riley that time, but when he was delivering the ball, David Martin came in and belted him.
And back-to-back plays by a couple of reserves today. Marley Tucker is starting the game for Rasuli Webster at strong safety. Gesser limping off the field because his shoe is off. But David Martin, Keith, started for Garrett Graham, and he made a big hit there that forced that high throw.
Yep. Right. So the Cougars have had 2 really big opportunities here in succession in the 3rd quarter and done nothing with it. Here's a high hanging kick. There's a fair catch call by Keenan Howery, and I don't have the foggiest idea how in the world Keenan could see the ball in that bright sunshine, but he did. But again, Oregon will have to start from their own 12, but they lead 21-17. Washington State frittering away 2 good opportunities from the 40-yard line, 39-yard line, and the 46-yard line. Once again, however, they've been able to pin Oregon deep. Ontario Smith and Ryan Lofton are the setbacks in the eye. They pitch it outside to Ontario Smith, and the Cougar defense flowing well here gives him no room at all. I mean, they were just there in a hurry. As Ty Tupai, number 97, the first big man to get to it.
Little misdirection play. Fake here. Pitch it back over here to Ontario Smith. But the Cougs, they're all on their feet. They're all running. Ducks did not knock down one Coug there on the defensive line. No place for Ontario to go. 5 carries, no yards, second half for Ontario Smith.
But they lead because of gift touchdowns. 1 in the first half, 1 in the 3rd quarter. And they're coming outside with it. And again, the red shirts everywhere. Marcus Trufant is the first one to get there. And here's Todd Hurwitz with an injury update.
All right, Keith, earlier in the 2nd period, Matt Floberg took a pretty hard shot. They examined him at halftime, and so Floberg has been determined to have a concussion. He is done for the day. Aaron Gibson, sprained foot. They're going to ice it. They want him to come back because, as Dan pointed out, they are very thin in the defensive back. And for Washington State, not good news. You pointed out Sam Lightfoot having problems staying healthy. He is done for the day with a sprained right MCL. Keith.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's 3rd down and 11. Fife looking to throw. Steps away from the heat. Now they've got him pinned back on the goal line. He's still looking to throw it. Gets it away, and it's incomplete. The only man he had a shot at was the tight end, Reitster.
Cougs have 15 sacks in the last 2 games coming into today's game because they have such a well-coordinated pass rush. Fast defensive ends like Isaac Brown there, and then Ty Tupai with the pressure up the middle. That forces Fife out of the pocket, and this impossible throw to Reister down the middle.
You might have 12 guys out there. There's 41 in a big hurry to get off the field. And the snap is very high, but Arroyo gets a hold of it and hits it up to Trufant. Marcus takes it to 45, and he goes down around the 41.
Great catch by Jose Arroyo, 5'11", and that ball snapped back by Ryan Lofton. Almost went all the way over his head and would have gone out of the end zone for a safety. Great catch. No pressure, so he can get it off.
So here are the Cougars again, sitting on the Oregon side of the field, the 41-yard line. And they got Tippins in the backfield, and he gets the ball coming to the right side, gets a block, and dives ahead to about the 38. And Marley Tucker makes the tackle. There's an old story about the old coach who took 115 football players out into the countryside of West Texas. Ain't much out there. And the story goes, as John Davy Crow likes to tell it, as he reveals the secrets of the Junction Boys. We went out in 2 full buses, and we come back with one, and it wasn't full. That's on ESPN, the Junction Boys, Saturday, December 14, 6 Pacific time. Be a fun thing to see. And this is Jermaine Green breaking over the left side. And Green almost slipped through the traffic, gets down to the 35-yard line. And they still need 4 yards. And they're looking at 3rd down. This is sort of what they've done now. The other 2 times is not do much on 1st down. If you come out here on first goal, 1 or 2 yards on 1st down, it doubles your chore. They have not done well, either team, really, on 1st down plays.
Yards have been tough to come by for both teams.
Jermaine Green is in the backfield with Gesser. Gesser's looking to throw. Goes, got it. He goes to DeVard Darling. And Darling will have a 1st down for the Cougars. He had a choice of Darling or Green, both of them open. He took the deepest man and puts him inside the 20-yard line.
He had time to throw against a strong pass rush. Oregon brought pressure this time, but it's all picked up. Great job by the offensive line. Clear lane to the receiver. And again, the big receivers of Washington State getting inside Oregon's little defensive backs.
Darling and Riley come to the right side this time. Numbers 1 and 84, and that's a double dose of poison when they're paired up. But they go the other way with Jermaine Green. Linebackers are pursuing, and a penalty flag is thrown by the referee. And I bet you, for use Cork, it's holding. It is.
Derek Roach on Rod Wright. Slow developing counterplay. And again, it's going to be holding against the Cougs.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
They're self-destructing.
Yeah, they are, Keith, and they've had good field position, and they've just squandered it. They get the big play on 3rd down previously. 77 right out here. There's the hold as he turns right around. Easy call for the officials out in the open spaces.
That is the first penalty in this quarter. And it'll be 1st down and 20. Gesser, flush, penalty flags all over the place, goes to the end zone for Riley. Hold on. Riley made the catch all right, but look out for that flag. Coming back.
Riley's first catch of the afternoon may come back.
I think 77, the big guy Roach might be the man, but
only 6 on the line of scrimmage.
He's the one that is disputing the call. It is coming back. It's a holding call on a Cougar.
Yeah, actually, it was legal formation against the Cougs, Keith. One of the offensive linemen maybe was too far back off the line of scrimmage.
Could have been.
He did not have the required number on the line of scrimmage, and you talk about self-destructing. Psychologically, that is a death blow to have a touchdown called back in a tight game.
So, I guess they didn't. That was the call, wasn't it?
Yep.
Didn't line up properly. Now it's 1st down and 25. And Tippins cannot get around the corner.
You know, not only are you hurting your own team, you're picking your opponent up by making mistakes like this. Oregon feeling much better about their defense. And watch the pursuit here. Watch Moretti. He's going to slow Tippins down. And Charles Favroth, number 11, will come up and finish him off. Loss on the play.
Remember, Washington State had a 1st down at the Oregon 19. And then started going backwards. They're looking at 2nd down and 26 now at the 35. He's going for Darling. Went to the outside. Darling had turned inside and couldn't come back in time. Stephen Moore defending. So it is 3rd down.
And it's going to be a pump fake, trying to get the double move on Darling on the outside. But he's going to be double teamed by Marley Tucker, number 23, and Stephen Moore. That's great pass coverage right there. No place for Gesser to throw the ball to the inside because of Tucker, and he misses him on the outside because of Moore.
And it's 3rd down and 26, 25. Ball is thrown complete to Mike Bush. And Bush is right in front of the goalpost at the 19-yard line for 4th down and about 8. Caught in front of Marcus Benz. And go out and take your 3 points here?
Absolutely, Keith. That was a smart play by Gesser, taking what the defense gives you. A soft zone coverage by the Ducks. That allowed the reception over the middle and perhaps sets up a very makeable field goal.
Colin Henderson will hold it. He's playing with a cracked clavicle. 35-yard field goal try for Drew Dunning. He's hit a 45 today, and he's got a 35 today. And so the Cougars move within 1. 21-20 as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Oregon leading by 1. ABC Sports presentation returns after this message and the word from our ABC station.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Mike Belotti's football team across the seasons that he's been at the University of Oregon and won a lot of close football games, particularly in the last 3 years. See the record there, 32-10.
No panic in that man.
Nope. That's at the goal line, taken by Alan Amundsen. Look out. And they bring Allen down at about the 26-yard line, and there the Ducks will go to work. Now he'll go again to John Saunders in New York.
Keith, Ohio State struggled in 1. Oklahoma is trailing Texas A&M, but Miami's having no problem with Tennessee. Ken Dorsey, 11 yards to Kellen Winslow Jr. 26-3 is the lead with about 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech trying to avoid being beaten for the 2nd straight week down to Syracuse. Keith.
Yeah, things are a little bit desperate at Syracuse, but La Tech, they've had their problems, haven't they, last couple of weeks. Smith has come in motion, come to the sidelines. Fife's little shovel pass ahead to Whitehead. Whitehead's got daylight in front of him. You better get him pretty soon, boys, or he'll be gone. Eric Coleman finally tracked him down.
Ducks come with both Ontario Smith and Terrence Whitehead in the backfield at the same time. Smith draws a lot of attention. Well-designed little pass forward. It's a shovel pass forward, almost like a draw play. Better than a draw play, especially when you get a man with the moves of a Terrence Whitehead.
So far today, Andy Ludwig and Nick Aliotti are both having a pretty good day for the Oregon Ducks, the offensive and defensive coordinators. On 1st down, Fife back. And he gets it away down the middle of the field. It is intended for the speedster Sammy Parker. Defending on the play was Carl Pema. The pass is too long.
Fife has just been off target all afternoon. Starting to show a little bit of frustration there. When you've got a speedster like Sammy Parker, and to put a little bit more air under it. Maybe he has to learn a little bit from Jason Gesser as to how to feather that ball down the field and let your speed run underneath it. There's a tendency to gun the ball too much.
Ontario Smith comes off the field, and I don't think he looks like he's running with a great deal of certainty. Looks like that left leg might be a little sore. Here's Fife rolling out. He's hit as he delivers the ball to Keenan Howry. And Howry sees the ball for one of the few times today. Fife is successful with the pass, but he paid the price.
And Howry will come up about a foot short of the 1st down as Eric Coleman pushed him out of bounds.
Pat Bennett's a man is going to nail him, the quarterback.
Yeah, that hurts. You get the shot right in the ribs with the helmet there and then down to the ground. Now watch how close Howry comes to picking up the 1st down.
Gain of 9 yards. 3rd and 1.
3rd down and less than a yard. Ball just short of the Washington State 45-yard line with Whitehead. The deep back. Threw that fullback in front of him, give him somebody to run behind. He tries to bounce outside. That was a mistake. Should have gone right behind that fullback. He'd have had it. Will Girding pursued him and got him.
Freshman mistake for Terrence Whitehead, and you You mentioned how Ontario Smith didn't look 100%, Keith, and maybe that's why he wasn't in the game, and that may have cost Oregon. With good field position, 3rd and inches, Whitehead decides to go wide, and look at all the maroon. Nowhere to go.
That's crimson.
Excuse me.
High hanging putt by Arroyo. They're going to let it alone, see if it'll bounce into the end zone. There are too many ducks around it. They want it to roll as deep as they can get it to roll, and it goes dead at the 3-yard line. Great job by Jose Arroyo. He kills it down at the 3. 13:26 to go in the game. It's put-up time for the Washington State Cougars, I suspect. 13:26 to play in the game. They haven't done much in the second half except throwaway opportunities. Now they've got the ball first down at their own 4-yard line, and looking at the Pac-10 standings, it tells you that this game has great meaning for Washington State particularly. They try to go outside with Jermaine Green, but Oregon's defensive people are having none of it as Moretti comes flying in to make a tackle.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, and it's been the defensive plays for Oregon this afternoon. Stephen Moore rushes the quarterback, Jason Gesser, rips him off, takes it back 12 yards, 7-7 score, and then the interception on the second play of the second half. Kevin Mitchell picks off Gesser, takes it back 20 yards for the lead, 21-20.
Gesser on the goal line, throws, pass is completed, and the receiver gets it outside the 10 to the 11. They've got to go beyond the 14 for their first down. It was Mike Bush, and Oregon's plan on Bush, the tall fellow. Well, hit him as many times as you can, and don't let him get started downfield. And they've done a pretty good job.
And really, the key is if you can stop the run with just your front 4, then you can drop 7 into pass coverage, as the Oregon Ducks did that time, and keep these big guys in front of you. Jerome Riley still looking for a catch this afternoon, Keith. There he is.
He's on this side. Gesser goes down the middle with it, hits it to Mike Bush, and Bush has become the key man, and it's a first down for Washington State out at the 33-yard line. Marley Tucker made the tackle.
Marley Tucker stepped out of one of his shoes. And I'm sure that affected his reaction time to big Mike Bush over the middle. Bush is number 5, and Tucker, number 23, is on the inside there. You can see he's playing with just one boot on.
Bush has caught 7 passes for 83 yards and a touchdown today. They run it with Jermaine Green, and that's a good 5 or 6 yards. It is at least 6 yards. Maybe 7.
131 yards rushing in this game.
To take control, you've got to be pretty good on first down. And if you can run for 5 or 6 yards on first down, you're in good shape. Green now has 20 carries and 131 yards. That's his career high.
But just 20 yards here in the second half.
Yep. He hasn't been able to get outside at all. Gesser's pass is batted away by David Moretti.
Moretti had a big play last year in the game against the Cougs when he almost intercepted a pass on the second to last play of the game. Here he is right in the middle, and Gesser's going to be looking this way. That will take the middle linebacker to that side of the field. And if Moretti can get both hands on that ball, he may score the Ducks' 3rd defensive touchdown of the afternoon.
And Keith Lewis was lurking in the shadow of the intended receiver.
Got to look out for Lewis. He's got 4 picks on the year.
It's another big 3rd down play for Washington State. 3rd and long 3. No pressure. Nobody to throw to either. Now he may run for it. He's got the first down. Steps out of bounds at midfield. Gesser, he's brave. Here's a penalty flag in his wake. Look about the penalty. It's coming.
Personal foul on the defense. Hand to the face.
The way the Cougars were retreating, it looked for all the world like it was coming back. But the call goes against Oregon. Personal foul. That's huge.
Yeah, and it's just their first penalty in the second half. So Bellotti had gotten their attention at halftime talking about those penalties. Huge. This is bigger than that, Keith, if possible. Gesser just really brings you to the edge of your seat watching him buy time, patiently searching for a receiver and then having the speed to pick up the first down, and now the bonus with the personal foul.
So the ball is on the Oregon 34. Oregon leading 21-20 and 10:55 to play in the game. Gesser's got it in the air for Darling. Couldn't get it. Penalty flag. They're going to call a penalty on Oregon. Marcus Benz defending. He was beaten, and he probably made the only play he could make.
Yeah, there are times when you commit good penalties. That was a good penalty for Marcus Benz.
On the defense, 15 yards.
15-yard penalty, but no touchdown. Benz and Darling hooked up on the outside. Again, Gesser's just going to put it up to Darling. Darling, with that blazing speed, gets by Benz easily. There's the push once the ball comes in, and now the flag.
The ball is on the 19-yard line of Oregon. First down, Washington State. 10:48 to play in the game.
This drive started at the Cougs' 4-yard line. Ducks may be getting tired.
Same play, same people. Darling can't hold it. Benz able to get just a little piece of the ball as it arrived. He put a lot of air under it to give Darling time to make his play, and that helped, I think, Benz defend it.
Yeah, the ball's underthrown too, Keith. Watch, Darling also has to stop and reach back. Benz gets his hands in the mix and gets him in just enough to knock the ball loose from Darling. Gesser disappointed in the result, but knows he didn't throw it far enough. What's going through that young man's mind?
I'm not going to touch it. Second down and 10.
That's a fumble on me.
Pressure coming backside. Ball knocked loose. Gesser gets it back. Good play by that Oregon defender, Rod Wright, coming around. And he was beating the defender all the way and had just enough reach to knock it loose.
Woo. Yeah, Rod Wright. Got 4 sacks now on the year. This happened to Gesser last week against Arizona State when a defender came from his blind side, knocked the ball out, and he recovered. Heads up by Gesser because Olshansky is at the bottom of that pile as well.
It is now third down and 17, and the ball is back at the 26-yard line. They got to get some of it back here to give Drew Dunning a chance, and now Mike Price is going to call timeout. So they'll have 2 remaining at 9:57 to play in the ball game. And Oregon 21, Washington State 20. Tackle spot right now for Washington State. Calvin Armstrong has moved it over to right tackle. And it was Parrish, I think, that Wright slid by, wasn't it?
Yeah, and now the Cougs have put a tight end on that side to give Parrish some help on right.
Gesser's pass. He's got his man wide open. Mike Bush at the 6-yard line. That was a good defense by Moretti to keep Bush out of the end zone. So Mike Bush has had a big day. And the Cougars have it first and goal at the Oregon 6.
And Josh Parrish does a good job on right, 50 on 97, as does the entire offensive line for the Cougs. Crossing route is the best type of route to throw against zone defense, and that's been the best play for the Cougs all afternoon.
So it's first and goal with Jermaine Green, the deep back. He gets the ball looking to the middle, and there's not much room in the middle. His fort is to the outside. Conclusion of the game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. It's second down and goal. They gained a yard on the last play. Jump ball. Bush, touchdown.
Question now for Washington State. Do you go for two? Gesser's trying to get the offense back out onto the field. Marcus Binns says, "I'll bring the kicker out here. I can't handle any more of this." Talk about a simple route. And Binns just doesn't have a chance. And you can't really double a wide receiver at that part of the field, especially with the effectiveness of Jermaine Green running the ball.
Going to 96-yard touchdown drive, the fourth lead change. Why do you go for two? Well, it's pretty obvious. Add up the numbers. There's the pass thrown. No. Wave it off. Intended for Riley, defended by Moretti. And the score remains 26-21. Two would have made it a 7-point lead at 28-21. So Washington State with a tender 5-point lead, 8 minutes and 56 seconds to play in the game. Big day for Big Mike. Well, it looks like this one may very well go to the nub. That's not uncommon for these two teams. But there isn't a Cougar on this team right now who has beaten the Oregon Ducks. They lead by 5, and the kickoff by Holiday is way back in the end zone. Will not be returned. It'll be Oregon at the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Discover Card. It pays to discover. And America's Dairy Farmers. The power of cheese.
Keith, the Oregon offense leads the Pac-10 in scoring per game at 38 points a game today. Their offense is accounted for just one touchdown.
First down from the 20. Smith is the single back. Fife looks to throw. Goes hard with it. Ball caught by the tight end Wrightster, George Wrightster, who's been fairly quiet. He's been in the vicinity of 2 catches today. One of them, an amazing ricochet. That's a big play. That puts him out at the 44-yard line.
And he runs like a wide receiver, 250 pounds, just down and across the middle of the field, working against none other than Marcus Trufant. Turns Trufant around, makes the catch, and almost gets away for a huge gain. Oh, is he something?
Fife throwing again. No heat on him. He passes. Well, that's picked off. That's intercepted by Marcus Trufant. Intended for Keenan Howry. Trufant at 6 feet. Howry at 5'10". That time the quarterback won.
Well, he's going to win most of the time. 45 is Trufant. Second interception in as many games. Got one against Arizona State last week. It's an outstanding play as he reads the route and then goes high and wrestles the ball away from Howry. Fife had a lot of time to find a receiver, got a little greedy there, and should never have gone after Trufant 2 plays in a row, especially after the tight end beat him on the previous play.
So the Cougars take over at their own 33-yard line, leading by 5 points at 8:20 to play in the ball game. And they give it to Jermaine Green, who's got time to get back on the other side and comes to the outside to pick up about 9 yards. He ran into the stack. There was nothing there. He shifted the ball to the other side of his body and took off.
Seen some big plays out of the Oregon defense, but the Washington State defense has been outstanding this afternoon. Look at that, 11 drives, 9 punts. And the latest possession, after it looked like Oregon had something going, resulted in an interception by Trufant.
2 of the 3 Oregon scores came from the defense. One on an interception, the other on the ball stripped away from Gesser by Moore. Gesser's pass to the sideline. Devard Darling is there, and first down, Washington State. The ball is at the Oregon 46.
And remember, Marcus Binns is playing for Aaron Gibson, who went out early in the game with a leg injury. So he is being picked on big time.
Oh, you got a 6'6" guy to go down there against Binns, who only weighs 160 pounds. And that's not fair. Cornerback union will be out in full force Monday morning.
Nothing fair about football, Keith. You know that.
Had that feeling for years, yes. Gesser with a lot of time. Puts it up, but Darling. And he's got it on the ricochet. Touchdown. Great play by Darling. My goodness. Poor Marcus Benz.
He did everything you possibly could do except knock the ball down. He knocked the ball up in the air. Darling didn't even break stride. He saw it in the air, gathered it in for 6.
Dunning for the point. Blocked it.
Nada.
That's the second time this year that he's blocked an extra point try. He blocked one against the UCLA Bruins, and it won the game for the Oregon Ducks. So it's 32-21 now, an 11-point lead.
Jason Gesser's 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon, and Oregon had a deflection earlier in the game with a reception by Reister. How about that awareness of where the ball is? Entirely by DeVar Darling. Vince pops it up in the air. Darling never took his eyes off it, and now he can prance and celebrate. Marcus Benz with good coverage, but not good enough.
DeVar Darling, who transferred to Washington State, sat out a year, came from Florida State. And now the Cougars will kick off, leading by 11, and we're at 7 minutes and 57 seconds, and we're going to find out now whether or not the Oregon Ducks are getting a little tired, I think.
You know, Keith, that extra point block is still very significant. 11-point game means a touchdown, a 2-pointer, and a field goal will tie it. And this has been such a wacky series the last couple of years.
Washington State scored 2 touchdowns in the last 59 seconds. So it's been a bang-bang offensive explosion for them. Holliday's kick. Boy, he's got a lot of legs. He runs that right out of town. Here's Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, as you pointed out, DeVar Darling made the transfer from Florida State, and he's gone through transfer, injury, all kinds of issues, but nothing compares to the loss of his twin brother who passed away while preseason conditioning back in February of 2001 while at Florida State University. And in honor of his brother, Devon, he keeps a picture of him in his shoulder pads, and when he scores, you'll see him touch his heart and point to the sky in honor of his fallen brother. Keith.
Thank you, Todd. Every time. So on first down, here come the Ducks. Sun's gone now. No problem with the sun or shadows. Lights are on. Fife passes away, and it's underthrown. He was under considerable duress.
That duress has been a part of the game plan. Don't let Fife get outside. Have the ends rush up the field like Chavis, force them back to the inside, and then let the big guys just pound on Jason Fife.
And Long and Jeremy Williams did a pretty good job that time. Both of them are juniors. They'll be back. Running backs of the Pac-10. They'll be here again next year. Second down and 10. Uh-oh, here comes something new. Fife getting some heat. The first man through missed him. Now the ball's away and knocked down. Knocked down by Marcus Trufant. Sammy Parker was standing there waiting for it, but Trufant was coming like a train going downhill, and he got one hand on it, and that was enough to spoil it. They're getting a lot of heat on the Oregon quarterback, Fife, now.
Yeah, and Ryan Long leading the way, but Fife got away with one there. You never throw the ball across the field late. Trufant should have picked that off.
He throws it away. Does he get a flag? Didi Achelanu.
I'm going to say he's down, Keith. That's a sack.
That's a sack. They could have called grounding, but it's a sack.
Pressure by Achelanu as he just blows by Phil Finzer. They're saying that 5 forward progress was stopped. That's why they called it a sack.
And that brings up the punt out of the end zone by Arroyo, and that's a beauty. Circling under it, Trufant, and he's caught immediately and thrown down. Danny Hughes down to it. Here's another flag, and it's thrown way back upfield. Referee threw it. Coming up second half of our doubleheader, we've got a penalty call against the Oregon Ducks, and I think they're going to make them re-kick it. Southern California and Stanford will get after each other. As soon as our game is over here in Pullman, we'll go down to the farm and see what's shaking. Here on ABC Sports, the classic college football.
Excuse me, Keith, but this is a personal foul penalty against the punter, Jose Arroyo. He was tangled up with Jeremy Bohannon, and the punter's going to get a personal foul, so the Cougars will tack this on to the end of the return and have great field position one more time.
Ball. Personal foul on the kicking team.
Punter.
15 yards.
Yep.
First down.
That man right there.
My goodness.
Watch Arroyo, number 38. Here comes Bohannon, number 26. Arroyo's looking for him and then takes a shot. What is the point? Not only stupid, classless.
So the Cougars profit from the penalty. They get the ball at the Oregon 40-yard line. And Oklahoma fell today. The Aggies of Texas A&M took them down. They try to run in the middle, nothing there. Bounces to the left side, Tippins, and he'll go down right about the line of scrimmage.
The Aggies didn't take him down, they gigged him.
Gigged him, they certainly did.
Good on you, R.C. Slocum.
I always did like to go down to College Station and get a haircut. Like Bud Wilkins said once time, it's a great place to get a haircut. Get $1 a side. 40-yard line, still second down and 10. Washington State trying to run it. Didn't move it an inch that time. The other unbeaten to fall today was Bowling Green. We've had a crowd of 37,600 and something here at Martin Stadium today. The contest is still viable, and very few people have left. And I don't know what, I guess he felt that one of the Cougars had moved on the play because Rod Wright came thundering across the line of scrimmage.
And loaded on Calvin Armstrong.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
Yeah, it was.
5-yard
Right was
penalty.
right.
Still second down.
Been a lot of mistakes today, and the kind of mistakes you ought not to be making in the third Saturday of November, I don't think.
Yeah, even big games. 11 penalties against the Ducks this afternoon, 8 against the Cougs. Seems like the Duck penalties have been especially untimely.
32-21 Washington State at 5:50 to play. On second down and 16. And that isn't going to work for much either. So they'll be looking at third and very long. Reluctant, obviously, to put the ball in the air because they want to run it and run the clock.
I don't know, putting it in the air has been a pretty good thing for the Cougs this afternoon, especially the second half.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter it has.
You know, that drive that won the game for the Cougs, if they do go on to win it, was that 94-yarder when they converted 3 third-down plays. It's something that they've had trouble with this season, converting on third down.
And the big man in that possession was Mike Bush. And DeVard Darling on the last one. This is thrown to the outside to Jermaine Green, and Green's got the speed to get it past the marker he picked up. Oh, he's still 8 yards short of the first down. He's run out by Finney. So it's fourth down and 8.
Well, I got my magic marker here. Let's just get those boys off the top and see who jumps up there.
Cougars keep the score as it is. They might slip by somebody.
They might slip by Oklahoma, don't you think?
Yep.
Better to lose early than lose late.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's a mile high by Bossler. They got a chance to kill it very deep, but they let it bounce. And when it bounces, you don't have to let it bounce. You can catch it. And he didn't do it. He went right between two of them, and instead of ball being back around the 2 or 3, it's out at the 20. Yards in the first half. And in the second half, he's carried the ball 5 times and no yards. Terrence Whitehead has done the bulk of the work at the running back position. It's obvious that Ontario is gimpy. So from the 20, here come the Ducks now, as Jason Fife throws to Jason Willis. And Jason Willis looks and sees the thundering of Will Durding in his eyes, and he dropped the ball.
And part of the reason why Terrence Whitehead is in the game is he's a better pass blocker for Jason Fife. And Jason Fife is going to have to throw it every down.
32-21. Washington State leading with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the game.
Pretty good defense for the Cougs, shutting down Smith and Fife in the second half.
Pass is away, good catch. Drop. He's got a catch in the drop. It is incomplete. Never possessed it. Jason Willis. And Fife had some sizzle on that one.
And Fife is going to be looking up a new receiver. 2 drop passes, back-to-back plays.
They take Durding out of the ball game now. Linebacker, I think he can run about as fast as any of the defensive backs. He's a really quick linebacker.
Yeah, he's going to be around for a while, too. Redshirt freshman.
3rd and 10. Fife runs out of bounds. He gets it across the 30-yard line. That's all he needed for his first down. So Fife staying cool. Moves the chain.
Staying cool and keeping his team alive. Ducks have 3 timeouts. But the pressure has been very constant all game long. The ends force him up in the middle to where the tackles are. He had a lane to escape to the outside, and then he sees what he needs and gets it.
Achulanu was number 17, the Cougar pursuing him, just didn't have the speed to catch him. It's first down at the 32 for the Ducks. Achulanu comes to the backside, got a hand on him, and the ball is away, and the pass is completed. Good catch by Keenan Howry. Finally gets something at the 41 of Washington State.
And Oregon has to get to the line of scrimmage now and forget about going back into the huddle. Time is running on them.
They've been in an almost, the Cougars have almost gotten Fife 2 plays in a row. But he's made them pay both times. Bounced it. He short hopped it to Sammy Parker. You know, defenders get tired too when they're constantly pursuing, and never quite getting their quarry.
Well, this defense has done a great job in many areas today. Not only did they shut down Ontario Smith and Jason Fife, but Sammy Parker, the leading receiver for the Ducks, only has 1 catch.
Leicester seems their best bet to me, Dan.
Yeah. He only has 3.
Fife gets it away. And there's Reichster. He's on the chalk. No, they don't call him out. He got away and kept on pumping and went down to the 10-yard line.
Well, this is a terrific play by Reichster. Knowing exactly where he is on the field. First of all, he's got to make a pretty good catch with a defender right on his shoulder. That's Hamza Abdullah right there. Look at the feet. Stays in bounds. An inch from going out of bounds, picks up an extra 12 yards. You just don't see that out of a big old tight end, do you?
And the Ducks are cooking on the Cougar 10-yard line. 4 minutes coming up. 32-21. Washington State leading. Oregon coming back to life. Jason Fife ducks under the pressure and got away from Achulano. Throws it into the end zone. It's knocked away. No good. The man who saved the touchdown was Eric Coleman, because there was an Oregon receiver down there, Keenan Howry.
Yeah, and the pressure, Ochelano, number 17, trying to go to the inside, is double teamed by Whitehead, but still has the pressure on Fife. And what a great play by Eric Coleman. That ball could have been picked off by Coleman or another Coug in the back of the end zone.
Ochelano has to come out of the ball game for a moment. He may have just run out of wind because he has really been working hard. Fife throws quickly, goes dropped. Danny Parker dropped it. He wanted to get it quickly to Parker. With his quickness, he felt that he could get into the end zone, but he didn't get a hold of it.
Real good zip on this one by Fife. And that's a case of looking downfield before you make the catch. Ball thrown to the back shoulder. You see the head was already looking at the defender.
Ryan Long was off the field for a couple of plays.
Trouble getting this play in, Keith. Time on the play clock running down.
Down to 10-9. They've been close a couple of times in this possession. Cougars show blitz. And they pitch it to Howry. Howry wants to throw it, and Howry's going to be taken down back outside the 20-yard line by Jeremy Bohannon. For the second week in a row, late in the ball game, Jerry Bohannon has made a big play. It was Bohannon who locked the legs of the Arizona State quarterback last week and kept him a yard shy of the end zone.
And if that play looks familiar, all you have to do is remember back 2 years for Duck fans. At the Holiday Bowl, Keenan Howry on the fake is going to toss the ball back to Joey Harrington, who gets in the end zone as the Ducks beat Texas. The Cougs were waiting for that play that time. That was going to be a throwback to Fife.
Here is a 40-yard field goal try by Jared Siegel. He's had 16 in a row. 16 in a row, and they wave it off? No, just missed it. It's been that kind of afternoon, and especially that kind of second half for Mike Bellotti and the Oregon Ducks. He didn't get all of it, I don't think. Just slid by, so it breaks at 15 straight. That was his 16th attempt. Trying to make it 16 in a row. Here's another look at it. And it's pretty close. But not inside. It was outside.
And it's not horseshoes.
Nope. Those don't count. So the Cougars take over at their own 23-yard line. And now they'll run it at least twice. And the clock is rolling along. Oregon has 3 timeouts remaining. And they spend one right here. With 3 minutes and 1 tick remaining on the clock, and Washington State leading by 11. Pasadena bound Cougs, says the sign. Well, they are 1 win if they win this one away. They've got to win this one yet. It ain't over. But if they do win it, they'll be 1 win away, with the Huskies left to play here and UCLA in Los Angeles. Pass is completed to DeVard Darling, who has stepped up here in this final quarter, made some big plays for the Cougars. And he's just short of the first down marker. Southern California, Stanford next. That's another team that's lurking. The Trojans, good football team, Southern California this year. But they lost to Washington State here in overtime.
And this defense that the Cougs present to an opponent now is every bit as good as that USC defense. They have really improved as this season has gone along. And remember, they lost one of the top defensive backs, Jason David, to that broken cheekbone. Yep, didn't miss a beat.
3rd down, short. Fight for the yardage. It's close. It was Green, and he had all the fight he could handle. 1st down. Boy, was that big.
Oh, Keith, you know, he's had a lot of yards today, 144 yards on 24 carries, but that was the most impressive run of the day. Talk about power. We've seen his speed, but boy, that was all power and desire.
24 carries, 144 yards.
Huge play that gives them 4 more snaps at 2:28 and the clock running. Oregon with 2 timeouts remaining. And they'll keep running it until Oregon stops them. The only thing about it, if you keep putting up that kind of a struggle carrying the ball, if you don't have it really wrapped, and even sometimes if you do, you can lose it. Because there's a lot of people clawing and jerking at it. And they can pull it loose. That was John Tippins.
Yeah, Tippins is a senior, and he knows full well what you're talking about, Keith.
We got a timeout on the field. That one goes to Washington State, did it, or Oregon? Oregon. It was Oregon's timeout. The top 4 teams in the BCS standings, Oklahoma has Baylor, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State, and then the Big 12 championship game. And that could be the wild card thing. Maybe. Yeah. And that could be a troublesome thing right there because they got beat today.
Yeah.
And
Keith, if Oklahoma were to lose to one of these 3 teams, and if Texas wins, they could go to the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah. So Texas is still in the hunt to go to Fiesta Bowl championship game. I mean, it's possible. I guess it's possible that Washington State could be thinking about it. But I didn't hear anybody talking about it. They're talking about the Rose Bowl around here. And when you've only been twice in 65 years, I don't know why.
No, you just want another hat.
Well, I'm happy for him. He's done well. They're going to run it with Tippins again on 2nd down and 7.
25, John Tippins carrying it.
I remember that the show that Oregon's quarterback Danny O'Neill put on in the Rose Bowl in '97. Remember that?